Every time I talk about this stuff, the biggest false belief people have in their head is like, well, that's cool. Russell can do it because he's Russell. And they're like, but I don't know if I could actually do it. And so this one makes me excited because everyone you're going to be seeing from today was someone who was just like you, some a year ago, some 2 years ago, some 3 years ago, who were struggling, trying to figure this out. Somewhere along the line, they bumped into an ad, they got the perfect webinar, they went through their training, they came to an event, something, they learned this skill, they applied it, they mastered it, and they've blown up their businesses, and it's changed everything for them. And so I'm grateful. We got some people actually in-house today. Some are going to be streaming in from around the world. And a couple other versions because I wanted to bring a wide group of just really, really amazing human beings to show you guys that this stuff is actually possible. And they're doing it for all types of products. Some are coaching, some are mastermind groups, some are physical products, a whole bunch of other stuff. One of them I actually show you here did it to pitch for like VC, like venture capital type thing. So the perfect webinar script and process that we're going through works in basically any kind of business, as you guys will see today. You're gonna have a chance to meet some really cool people. But to kick this off, I wanted to share really quick just one story. Now, unfortunately, Cody Sanchez couldn't be here in office, but she was here in the office last week. And I wanted to capture this one story. How many of you guys know Cody Sanchez right now? You guys follow her online? If not, she's blowing up. She's amazing. But she came from like the venture capital world where they're raising money, doing all these kind of things like that. And people always come to me and they're like, Russell, this is great if you're selling like to consumers, but this doesn't work when you're selling businesses because whatever, fill in the blank or excuse of why this doesn't work. I'm always like, you guys don't understand, this is human psychology. As long as they are human on the other side, this will work. Maybe you're trying to sell AI, it might not work, but if they're human, like the perfect webinar is human psychology. It doesn't matter who you're selling. And so when Cody was here, I was like, can I ask you a question? I want to record this just for everybody to show that this will work in any kind of business you're in. And so this is Cody Sanchez telling the story about how she used the perfect webinar in a really unique, really different way. So we're going to kick it off with this really quick. So that said, here's a really quick interview clip from Cody Sanchez.
The very first time I messaged you was on Instagram, December 26th. It was the day after Christmas. I don't even know why, 2022, somehow. So I've something, and I messaged you, and I saw you had messaged me, and you'd messaged me October that year, and I'm gonna read it because this is really cool. You said random, and the reason I'm saying this, I keep telling people, like, the way I teach webinars and selling, like, it works for anything, and people don't believe me, and your message, like, validated for me. So you said random, we actually used a riff of your webinar structure to pitch to pensions in our investment fund, and it worked. So first off, can you tell me about that story? Because I got to know.
That's wild. Yeah, that was back before I was on the internet. So I don't know how I came across you. It must have been on Instagram. So that's where I messaged you. But at the time, I sold investment products and managed a company that had separately managed accounts, exchange-traded funds, and what's called commingled funds that are mirror portfolios to big pensions and sovereign wealth funds in Latin America. And so I was running around Latin America trying to get them to give us money for us to invest. And we weren't having that much success with one market. I think it was Chile. And so I talked to other salespeople and nothing was really working. And then for some reason I came across your Instagram and I must have seen one of your funnels and then clicked through it. And you had a full presentation at that time, I think, that was out there publicly, maybe it still is, that you became known for. Was it like the perfect webinar or something?
Yeah,
right.
Webinar.
Okay. And so the perfect webinar, and I just was like, this is so weird for investment world. Like nobody had ever talked like this. I had no idea what priming was. I didn't know about, doing a close that had whatever the value stack or all that in it.
Yeah.
I never heard about anything like that. And yet, because we created custom investment products, I was like, we could do all of this. And so instead of doing what typically we do in the investment world, which is like, here's all the things that are happening in the world. You don't want to be in China now. You want to be in Europe. You want to be, in small caps, not large caps. We want to protect your downside risk. And it's all, what is that, right brain? Like it's very analytical. And there's no emotional pleas and there's no real knowing your target audience except their portfolio. And so when I saw your thing, I was like, well, it's not working how we're doing it. What if we try this? And I did it and we closed a big pension fund. I think that was one of our first, they're called AFPs. It was one of our first pensions in Chile. Uh-huh. How wild.
That's so cool.
I know.
It's funny, I had someone today who literally was on a call I was on and they're like, so I'm doing a funnel, but it's B2B, so I can't use the perfect webinar because these people don't buy emotionally. What should we do instead? And I was like, literally humans are humans. I don't care what you say. Like, yes, there's different versions, different things, but like, human psychology works, doesn't matter what you're selling. And so anyway.
It's so true.
It made me so happy to see that.
Yeah, well, and every time I forget that because I'm very analytical, we don't have the desired end state that I want. Like when I forget it with my team, when I'm leading them in a meeting and I just go, here's the numbers, here's what I need to have happen, et cetera. And then I'm like, why aren't you guys doing this? And I realize, wow, like psychology is the undercurrent to getting somebody closer to the action you want them to take.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, is that amazing or what, you guys? It gets me fired up to seeing like this thing working everywhere, and it just makes me excited. Okay, so my first special guest speaker who's in the house today, which I'm really excited for, that I'm excited to introduce you guys to. She's someone who came into my world because she wanted to learn this process. And I always talk about how all of you guys, you have a call and you have a mission. You're trying to change people's lives, right? And you've been called to serve a group of people. And what's amazing to me is, again, initially Stacey came into our world as someone trying to learn from us, but eventually my wife and I actually joined her programs, went to her masterminds, went out to Jamaica and like experienced everything that she does and everything she teaches. And it dramatically changed the relationship with my wife and I, with our kids, with our family. So I'm like a recipient, like the ripple effect like rippled back to me, and her message changed my life the same way that I think what we helped her to reach more people's lives. So it was really fascinating and really fun for me. And the fact that she ended up moving to Boise so we could see her more often. So when we're putting this together, like, Stacey, do you want to come and let's tell everyone your story about how you found this process and what the results have been. So with that said, everybody, let's put our hands together for Stacey Martino. Let's do it. I got the feeling. So great to have you here.
So great to be here. Hey, everybody. I can see you all. Awesome. What do you want to talk about?
Well, webinars and things. No, I want to talk about this because this is, again, people come in my world at different points and different times, right? And I don't know, I feel like there's always some divine interference with people, right? Like you bump into people when you need them and stuff like that. But before you came into our world, you were doing webinars, you had stuff like that. When you tell the story, just kind of how this whole thing started and what caused you to have enough pain to actually come and go through this whole process today so you could change more people's lives.
Absolutely. And I'm so glad we're talking about that because many of you are probably right now exactly where I was as well. Before I met Russell, before I started learning from Russell, my husband and I had our method, relationship development, everything that we do, and we do it very, very well. It's just that not enough people knew who we were. And we help people save their marriage, heal their parenting, heal their family, all human relationships. And when you're very effective at that, like my husband and I, our mission is to help people so the harmony is back in the home. We're changing the lives of children. And yes, helping 100 families is great. Even, a few hundred families is great, but how many more families are there that we could be helping? And so I had heard about webinars, and hadn't heard of ClickFunnels or Russell yet, but so I went all in on webinars because I never actually did one-to-one because when we first started doing this as a mission, I was still in the corporate world. So I knew I had to only do one-to-many. So I was trying to do, instant teleseminar, like audio stuff back in the old days, but then webinars. And my team and I, like we had a few people that were with us, went all in on one webinar. And I'm like, this is it, guys. Like, we're going to do a phenomenal presentation. We're going to help so many people. We worked our butts off for, I think it was 3 or 4 months, just on this one webinar. And I just want to say, like, we had over 18,000 people register for this webinar. Like, how many of you that would change your life right now if 18,000 people signed up to come to your webinar, right? So we were like, oh my God, this is it. We've worked so hard for so long. Like, this is it. And of course, we did the webinar. And as always, Paul and I poured our hearts and souls into it. We taught so much incredible content. People were loving it completely. We get to the end of the webinar and I'm like, okay, so this is our program. Here, we can help you. Go ahead and click on the link. And nothing. Not one single person. After hours of pouring everything I could into that webinar, nobody signed up. And that night, I'm trying to tell myself, it's okay, we'll try again. But the truth is, the thought of everyone who signed up to attend that webinar, they didn't sign up because there was nothing going on. They signed up because there was something going on that they needed to solve. And as I thought about the children sitting in those homes that night, knowing that I wasn't going to be there to solve any issue that was going on, and that I wasn't going to be able to help their parents bring harmony back to that home, I ended up on the floor in our bathroom crying my eyes out, and my husband was holding me for hours. And I remember saying to him, like, I did everything I could. I worked so hard. I gave everything. I did everything I could. I did everything anybody asked me to do. How come it didn't work? And in that moment of desperation, my husband and I do what we do. We're on our knees anyway. I prayed and I said, God, I know my thing, what I do, and we never miss, ever. But I am never going to figure out this marketing thing. I am not a marketer. That is not my gift that I came into this world with. I could spend the next 100 years thinking about this. I'm never going to solve it. If you really want me to serve people on this planet, you're going to need to bring me the how. And whatever it is, I will say yes. I swear to you, just bring it to me. Now, side note, if you're ever on your knees promising the Lord that you will say yes, guess what's coming? Something you don't want to say yes to that seems so crazy. You shouldn't possibly say yes to it, but it's, the Lord works in mysterious ways. So the next day, I opened up Facebook, and this young man's face popped up. Never, ever heard of him before. This was years ago. And literally, and I know you already know this, and he was holding up a picture of the freaking perfect webinar chart that he's been teaching you. And it literally said, want to convert more clients in your webinar? And I looked up and I'm like, this boy you sent me, this is my savior, you sent me this child? And I'm like, okay, nope, I said I would do whatever it is, and this showed up, and I said yes, and that led me to, click through all the things, and ended up in this room where you helped us to build the perfect webinar. I was doing a webinar, I was pouring my heart and soul into it, but I wasn't doing the perfect webinar. So no matter how much skill I have in my craft, I didn't have the same amount of skill in my marketing, in my presentation, in my ability to help people get into motion, in my ability to help people take action from their heart instead of from their fear, in my ability to help them break their false beliefs, and all the magical things that we are learning how to do. Well, we crafted that webinar, and I did the webinar. And guess what? 20% of everybody on the webinar signed up for our program. 20%. Yes, amen. So then I did what Russell says, just like Kaylin has always been saying to us. And I did the webinar every single week for a year. Paul and I did that webinar. And that's how we got our first 2 Common Club Award, which absolutely for us represented helping 10,000 families that first year. And since then, it's actually been hundreds of thousands of people around the world that we've been able to serve and help, all of whom we never would have been able to reach without Russell. And I will say, just like we've been saying before, it's not just for the webinar. Like, we've run that webinar for years. And the first time I ever did a 3-day event, now we've done, I think the last time we checked, we've done 84 multi-day events in the years that we've been doing this work. But the very first event, which was 10 years ago this year, 3-day event, I went to do the offer presentation to invite people to do our program, and zero people signed up, which I know is hard to believe knowing what you know about me now, but 0. And then I went back, recrafted it, and I used the perfect webinar, and I use a stack. I never do a presentation without the perfect webinar on the stack. I've done hundreds, gotta be hundreds of presentations since then. And as you know, typically we convert 40 to 50% at all of our 3-day events. And
it's a high ticket, not until like...
It's a $15,000 program.
$15,000 program. It's insane.
Yeah, and then of course in our advancement offers over 90%.
Can I tell about this though? Like I said, I became a client, and so I bought the course, went through it, and then we went to the 3-day event in New Jersey. I was attendee, and we went through that, and then we signed up for the next level. So we went to Mastermind Paradise, and so I'm sitting there at the event on the beach watching Stacy do her thing. She's got, I don't know how many, 100 and 200 people, whatever, tons of people there. We're going through the whole thing, and then day 2, perfect timing, she comes and starts doing the presentation, and I'm sitting there as the client, like, she's doing it. And I'm watching, and you're like, boom, boom, boom. I'm seeing the whole thing. And then she does the pitch, and people running up, jumping around on the beach, right? We're on the beach, people running around. And I think you ended up closing as 98%.
That was 99% that year.
All but one person bought from her doing it at a 17, 18, whatever, $1,000 offer. And it was insane.
Russell's like, who's the one? I'm going to hunt them down.
Yeah, it's like, who would say no to that? Where are they? Anyway, for me, it was so much fun to see it in action and see how almost all but one re-upgrade into, anyway, it was amazing.
And literally that is about understanding that, just like Russell says, right? He's coachable. That's what makes him so great at what he does. So am I, right? So is Krista. Like that's what we do. So I have my craft, what Paul and I do, that I know we are the best at, right? That's what we do. We never miss. But the marketing, the presentations, the communication with audiences, that's not my gift. That's not what I was born with. That's not what I'm out there teaching the world. I must have the guidance, the method, the tools, the strategies, everything that Russell's figured out to pair. It's like the perfect marriage, to pair with my gifts, what I have, because I'm never going to figure it out. And why would I want to? So I plug in what Russell teaches me. And that is how we've been able to impact so many more people and work with people all over, and it never misses. And here's what else I want to say about that is that, yes, it's wonderful when our organization is fully funded. We can do so much more for people, and that is wonderful. But the truth is, if someone doesn't sign up for our event or our program, like, I can't actually help them. Right? The training that we do, we teach a skill set based method. It's real training. It takes more than the 60 seconds, and the 60 seconds gets them interested, which gets them to the thing. And that's awesome. But it's real training, and it takes time, and I need to work with them in order to be able to give them the success. They need to do the training video. They need to come to the event. They need to do it. And if we can't help people say yes from their heart, instead of default no from fear, right, from the lizard, like Russell was showing us, then we're not really doing our jobs in service. Because the default for most people is to put it off. Like, ooh, that was so interesting. That's a really, really good idea. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Listen to what we say to ourselves. I'm going to do that. Right? Like Eric's teaching, like, oh, that's such a good idea. I'm going to do that. Gonna do it, or you're doing it. Right? But we default to putting off everything we possibly can unless we're forced to. And that creates a crappy quality of life, a crappy result in business. Nothing amazing ever came from putting things off. And so what happens is there is a proven skill set to help people get out of that procrastination, avoidance, fear brain-based decision-making and get into their heart. Because just as passionate as you are about helping people, the truth is the people you're talking to are passionate about wanting to get the result with you. They really are. But then just like everybody else, they do all the talking themselves out of, right? The fear-based brain talks us out of what the heart knows we're being pulled towards. Everything in the Perfect Webinar, everything that we're learning here is to help people align with their heart, get out of fear, and ascend to the next level of who they're going to be with you, getting the result with you, which is exactly what we've been doing with Russell for years.
Yeah, so awesome. Thank you, Stacey.
Yeah, so
One
grateful.
last question. So now that you've gone through this process and you've had the transfer, all this stuff, you've experienced it at such a high level. If you go back in time to the very beginning, when you're writing your very first webinar and figuring things out, like, what would you say to yourself then, knowing what you know now?
So can I sneak a second thing in there?
Yeah.
That's so me, right? So the first thing I would say is just work with Russell right now. Whatever you have to leverage, sell, whatever, barter, whatever you have to do with anybody to get the funds to do it, just do it now, because you are going to pay such a heavy price the longer you delay. I would have told myself that before the 3 months. Can you imagine if I had that webinar with me when 18,000 people signed up for that webinar? Talk about, right, Myron teaches us about opportunity cost, about ignorance cost. I don't even want to do the math on that because I'll start crying. So I would say do it immediately. And the second thing I would say is that everything is figure outable, but I don't have to figure it all out. I can work with the person who's already proven that he's figured it out and let that bless my life too.
Awesome. Thank you, Stacy. Appreciate you. Thanks. Let's give her a round of applause. Stacy Martino. So excited. So does that give you guys some excitement, some hope of just like, this can work for me, right? So exciting. Okay. I've got some more guests I'm going to bring on today, again, in different markets, different areas, because, again, now you're like, well, Russell does it in this market, and Stacey does it in relation markets. It can't work anywhere else, right? My next guest is someone who's calling in right now. I'm not sure exactly where he's at, but he's someone who came into our world a couple of years ago. He's joined my Inner Circle and my Atlas programs, and I've had a chance to watch what he's doing, but he's been doing webinars, and he does them in a really unique way. He, instead of just doing a webinar behind his desk and does this presentation, he's a landscape photographer. So he goes out on like the job where he's doing his shots, and he does these dramatic, huge, crazy webinars. We literally, the first one I saw a video trailer of it. He went out to the side of the Grand Canyon, got Starlink, hooked up the internet, and went live on the side of the Grand Canyon doing a webinar, and he crushed it. And then he's done that all over the world, a whole bunch of different places. And so I messaged him this week. I was like, would you be willing to come in and to share some stuff with us and kind of tell everybody your story? And number one, he's like, well, I'm on location right now. I have Starlink. I will patch in from there. So Tim Shields is here with us today. He's coming in from, I'm not sure exactly where, but Tim, how you doing, man?
I'm doing so good. I'm joining you from the wilderness of British Columbia by Starlink with a battery pack and an inverter, a couple of solar panels. I'm just out in the middle of nowhere.
I love it. It's so cool. Tell real quick before we dive into the whole backstory, where are all of the places that you have done webinars so far? Because they're not behind your desk. They're all over the place. I'm curious just to paint a picture for people what this looks like for you.
Yeah, so I started out by doing live webinars from home the way that everyone does. And then when 2 years ago, Starlink opened up the ability that you could move with a Starlink dish, like you could take it with you camping, I thought, hey, where's the coolest place on earth I could ever do a live webinar from? And so that was the edge of the Grand Canyon was the very first one. And then we did it from the Rocky Mountains. We did it from New York City. We did it from Banff National Park. We did it from the sand dunes of Death Valley, California. Like the more remote, the better, because it makes people more interested and they get more curious, and then they want to actually sign up and watch the webinar because it seems really cool, and it really is cool.
I actually watched. So just so you guys know, me and Tim go back and forth like brainstorming webinar ideas because he's brilliant with them. So I watched the entire webinar he did in Banff, and it's like on a frozen lake. The wind's going crazy. Like things are like flying. His cameras are flying, and he's just going live on the webinar. And it was like, this is the most exciting thing I've ever experienced. And for your audience, it's obviously, it's amazing. But I want to go back in time though. I want to come back to, for you, like, so your business is you teach people landscape photography. How did you come into this world of webinars and just the whole like funnel hacker community? Like, what was the journey that got you into this doing actual webinars?
Yeah, and really it was 6 years ago where I only had a hobby of landscape photography, and my wife and I were on a big long road trip to southern Arizona, southern California, and I was at this point at that time where I felt really lost. I didn't have an online business. I'd had one before, but I had shut it down because I just didn't like it. And I was searching for a new way to make money online with a new online business. And on this big long road trip, I literally prayed with my wife, Leah, that God would show us by the end of the road trip what the next new opportunity would be. So on the very last day of that trip, I bumped into an online influencer who is in the landscape photography space. And he said, hey, Tim, I looked at your portfolio. You take really awesome photos. You should do what I do. You should sell your knowledge online. You should make courses in landscape photography and sell them online. And that was the opener for me. But here's the key thing. He said, you have to use ClickFunnels, and you need to read this book. It's called Expert Secrets by Russell Brunson. It's going to change your life. So I ordered the book. It was waiting for me when I got home. I devoured the book. That led me to webinars, because I first tried to sell just a course on its own without a webinar, and it was a complete failure. But using the perfect webinar script taught me that I needed to create stories, Epiphany Bridge stories, and it is the stories that sell the masterclass bundle that is actually for sale in the webinar. It's all about the stories and using that hero's journey framework.
So cool. So when was the very first webinar you actually did after going through that process? How long ago was that?
That was in the summer of 2019. First webinar from home, summer of 2019. We did about $24,000 on our very first webinar. I sold a $297 masterclass with some bonuses. And I was like riding high. I just thought that I had, just cracked the code. But really what I was doing, I was exactly following the perfect webinar script as laid out in your Expert Secrets book. It's all about following the perfect webinar script and having those Epiphany Bridge stories.
That's so cool. Okay, so I'm only going to timeline for people because these timelines. So you did the very first webinar. You said was it $24,000 in sales, the very first one? So how long from the very first webinar you did until you got your 2 Comma Club award? Do you remember how long, how many months or years it took you to get to there?
Yeah, it was within a year. I went to Funnel Hacking Live, which was life-changing for me, and that's when I was introduced to this opportunity where, hey, if you do $1 million in sales, you can get this award called the 2 Comma Club Award. I saw all these people walking across the stage, and I made a vow to myself. I set a goal right there and then that by Funnel Hacking Live next year, I will be walking across that stage as well to get my 2 Comma Club Award. And in reality, I did go back the next year, and I collected 3 2 Comma Club Awards that next year. And that was all through webinars and the perfect webinar script.
So awesome. And then after the 3 2 Comma Club Awards, you've gone on, because you got a 2 Comma Club X Award. Was that last year or 2 years ago?
Yeah, last year.
So it's funny.
Yeah, and that was just such an incredible thing. I never thought it was possible, but really just sticking with the perfect webinar script, using stories, especially that hero's journey story, and really focusing in on the results that you want to get for your customers. You know, I'm not selling a course. I'm selling the results that I'm going to get my customers. I'm selling them adventure. I'm selling them travel. I'm selling them the joy of life, the spice of life. And the only way to do that is through webinars, where in the beginning, that origin story is just so important, where I was trying to get the result. I was struggling. I wasn't finding the result. I was hitting roadblocks. It was making me feel like a failure. I wanted to give up. Then I did all of this research, years of research to find a new way. And then I had this epiphany. I found the new way, and it's a framework. It's a 4-step system. And if anyone follows that 4-step system, they too will get the amazing results that I got. And then, of course, showing all of the testimonials of how my students are using that 4-step system and getting those amazing results. So that's really what sells the actual product that you're ultimately selling at the end of your webinar.
So cool. I love this because I get people who come to my world all the time like, well, of course, Russell, you can do millions of dollars because you're selling businesses and how to make money, so they'll give you more money. But this doesn't work in any other market. Like maybe they can make a couple, 10, 20 grand. There's no way they can make a lot. And I'm like, Tim's teaching landscape photography. This is not like a get-rich-quick program. This is how to take pictures with your camera, right? And you hit 3 2 Comma Club Awards, 2 Comma Club X, and it's growing and it's scaling. And it's like any passion, any talent, any hobby you have, like if you figure out how to create the right offer, how to make the presentation, and you follow the system, like you can grow and you can scale just like you have, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. It's following the system and getting those results for your customers through a framework and creating all of those Epiphany Bridge stories that you will use through the webinar. And here's the thing is that landscape photography is like one of the most competitive niches to be in, because there are literally millions and millions of videos, how-to videos on YouTube. I mean, you can find out everything you ever need to know for free on YouTube, yet my customers are still buying my masterclass bundles from me because of how they are presented in the perfect webinars that I deliver. And what's really cool is that we have now 9 different webinars, and we put them on a rotation. They're all evergreen, which means really we just have them recorded so that we can keep playing them until the end of time. And we send out an email every weekend for a different webinar. And we have a 9-week rotation. So my customers on my email list won't see the same webinar for 9 weeks. So with each webinar that we create and with each new masterclass that we create, we now add to that whole inventory that we can put into the email rotation, and it works super well. Like, I'm right now at our lake house. My wife and I have been able to buy a lake house, a beautiful home on a lake. That's our holiday place, and I'm at that location now with my wife, and yet our webinars are actually making us money as I'm talking to you right now. It's an amazing thing, and it's all because of the perfect webinar script.
So awesome. Okay, I got one last question for you. If you could, like, based on everything you know right now, if you go back to 2019, before you jumped in this world, what would you tell yourself right then about taking action and actually doing this and going all in with it?
You absolutely have to take massive action. Just like with what Stacey Martino was just saying, it's not enough to have the desire to start creating your business. You have to start taking those actionable steps right now. And here's the thing. A lot of people joke about this saying, but it is do what Russell says. And it really works because you have laid out the perfect webinar script. You've laid out how to sell online. The training that I've received through my ClickFunnels Association and through being in the inner circle with, your inner circle, it has been utterly life-changing. So it's follow the training and take massive action today. It doesn't matter really what it costs because you will make that money back on the back end. I think of every dollar that I've spent on my training with ClickFunnels and being in the inner circle, and it's paid back tenfold.
So cool. Thank you, Tim, so much for taking the time. I know you're on vacation. You streamed it for all of us. I'm super grateful for you doing that. You're awesome, man. I can't wait. I'll see you next week, actually, at our next mastermind.
Next week in Sedona.
Awesome, man. Thanks so much. I appreciate you. Let's give Tim a round of applause. I'm not saying this whole webinar, one-to-many selling thing works, but it kind of works. I don't know. We've seen it work in almost every market. Everyone's like, well, of course it works here and here, but no, like every market it works in. It's crazy. Okay, my next special guest is actually in office again today, which is awesome as well. And she's someone who came into our world. She was a real estate agent initially, and she's one of the top real estate agents in the world. And I think she was tired, she was burned out, and she wanted to switch and transition what she was doing. She jumped into our world. I remember she came into Inner Circle. She sat in that desk right there, and I watched her over the next couple months go and like create the presentation, start selling, and then start growing, start scaling. And then she started doing live events, and we'll probably get into numbers and stuff, but she's doing literally like every month $1 million, doing the perfect webinar over and over and over again, and it's fascinating. So the fact she's in house today is really, really cool. So with that, let's put our hands together for Krista Mayshore. Krista, come on up.
No love for the haters. The haters, man, 'cause I got 4 seats at the Lakers.
I'm gonna sit.
No worries, I'm gonna sit too. So how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm good.
Thanks so much for being here. So I'd love for you, well, first off, tell us your backstory. How did you, because you didn't come into being, I'm gonna be a coach or consultant or anything. You had a whole different career before this whole thing happened. You wanna tell us about that, kind of the first part of the backstory?
Yeah. So before I even get into that, if it's okay, I'll tell a little bit about just a little bit back to the backstory. So I know sometimes we look at people and we think that they are very successful and maybe they had just a very easy background and things were just cush for them, you know? And so I haven't lived at home since I was 13. I found myself in juvenile hall and then in a group home for troubled girls. I used to get dropped off every day in this big bus labeled Hidden Hills Group Home for Girls, which kind of just like added to the shame and the embarrassment because everybody was mean to us and kind of they chastised us and they sort of like bullied us like crazy. And then from there, I went to a foster home. So I haven't lived at home since I was 13. And I just had to kind of, when I turned to 18, the foster parents said, hey, you got to go. The money's gone. So I had to like no money, no nothing. I had to figure it out from scratch. And I only say that because I think a lot of times we see people like you and you just seem like you're just so successful and it feels like it's out of reach for us. And, you know, because of my upbringing, I mean, I couldn't read until I was in 5th grade. I was in a special education class. I wet the bed until I was like 11. Massive insecurity issues. Like getting on a stage like this, one time I called myself the wrong name. I called myself Krista Miller when I was Krista Mayshore because I was so terrified and there was like just 10 people in the room. So like anything is possible. I just wanted to say that first.
Yeah, so cool. Give a round of applause. That's awesome. So then your first career then, or not the first career, but the career before you got into this whole world, right? Was you were a real estate agent. We talk about that because you were really, really good at your art, your craft. Just like Stacey's great at her art, Tim's great at her, like you were great at the art of what you were doing, right?
Yeah. So I was a real estate agent. I was a teacher before that. I taught 3rd grade for 6 years. And I'm going to tell you all my bad stories. It's going to seem like I have a bad life. But at the time, my husband had an affair. He left me with my 2 daughters. And so I found myself with a new home, 2 little girls under the age of 4 with like everything taken away. And so I thought, well, I'll just get into real estate. And because I just left my teaching job because my daughter had gotten sick. And I thought, oh, I'll stay home and be a stay-at-home mom and I'll play real estate. Well, playing real estate turned into like having to dominate because I had to take care of the girls. And so I was a top 1% agent, 17 years in a row. I averaged 132 homes a year. But I was like exhausted and just working every weekend, every night. I was a great mom. I'm really proud of the mom that I was. But looking back, I was not very present because I was like on desperation mode all the time. And so I got to a point where, and I just wish I would have done it earlier, because I remember going to a Tony Robbins event, and it kind of talks like you about you have this calling and you should take it. But I was scared to do it. And so it took me 4 years to finally make the plunge. And then I saw you doing the perfect webinar. And I was one of those crazy people that just said, I'm going to go right now. And so I watched the webinar, paid 15 grand to go to the FAT event where you taught webinars. And then you made the offer to join the inner circle. And I got accepted. And so I paid like 25 grand. And I swear I didn't know what a funnel was. I'm like, funnel cake? Yeah, I like funnel cake. Let's do it. I'm not kidding. Like, I had no idea what a funnel was. And so at that first event, you had like a thing on the stage. So I took a picture of it. I put my name on it, put it on my vision board, stuck it in my bathroom because I pee a lot. And every day I went to the bathroom, I looked at my little vision board, my name on there, and I was like, I'm going to get one of those. I was like, well, that worked out pretty good. Maybe I'll join the next level. So, I mean, I think I've given you over $400,000.
I appreciate it.
I have.
Yeah.
Now, you might think that that's a lot, but we just hit the $62 million mark in 6 years. And it's all from perfect webinar to a 3-day virtual event. And we've averaged $1.2 million a month the past 3.5 years in a row. 1 month we did, 4 million. 1 month we did 400, but we have averaged consistently about $1 million a month since. So.
That's insane. So cool. Are these pictures right here? Are these?
Yeah. So this is an example of, when I remember people will see, when I first started, I didn't have a list and nobody knew me. I mean, I couldn't even really say my name, I couldn't say my name, let alone talk in front of people. And I was scared to death to do it. And even when I first came here, I was like, I don't belong here. And that's all from ClickFunnels.
That's her wall. That's not like the ClickFunnels.
That's my wall. Yeah, that's my wall.
That's your wall.
We now they're on the other side. We're kind of running out of room, but it's been a really cool journey. And the first time I remember COVID hit and we were kind of struggling, and you were like, do a virtual event, and I was like, I'm scared. And so I did it. And the first one pretty much sucked. And then I did it again that same month, and we did 1.3 million from just Zoom, no TVs or anything, just me and Zoom. But it was all because of just listening, taking action, and not being afraid, because we're all afraid. I mean, I was comfortable. I mean, I was doing good in my career, right? But I was exhausted. And I think the fear for me, it was the fear of staying where I'm at and looking at myself 3 or 4 years later. I was like, I can't do this anymore. I mean, the fear of me staying stuck and being that person that wasn't present and, just working so much, that was more scary to me than me taking the risk of changing my career, So I'm so glad I did it. I just wish I did it sooner.
I love you share also, so the very first, the second event, actually, the second one, because I think sometimes people think, why did I have 10,000 people on a webinar or on an event to be able to make, how many people were on?
The first one was 30 people.
Okay.
And I don't remember what we did. We didn't, it wasn't great at all, because that's why I had to do another one. And then there was I think 120 or something like that. There wasn't a lot. I mean, it was a really good conversion. And then we just month after month after month, I would just follow the system, and I'd be like, okay. I mean, even today, when Russell, first of all, I'm not even supposed to be here. I accidentally invited myself. I thought it was virtual. I thought it was in person and it's virtual. And I go,
shows up in Boise, we're like, hey, what are you doing here?
I didn't. I'm a very fast action taker. I saw the thing and I just hit buy, and then I booked my flights. The next thing I'm here, and he's like, it's a virtual event. I'm like, oh, sorry. But I mean, that's why you got to do it now, right? You got to take fast action. Now I'm here on the stage, which is kind of weird. But so there wasn't a lot of people. I mean, like I said, nobody knew me, but I just started you told me kind of like what Eric said, every day post content. And so I would just post content, do lives. Nobody was watching. And I was like, no one likes me. And then I just kept doing it every day and every day and every day. And then all of a sudden it just kind of hits, and then definite ups and downs in the business. There's been times where it hasn't been great. I think nobody tells you, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but like no one tells you the truth about business, that, you know, you have to spend money to make money, right? Like before something can go up, it has to go down. And like when I pulled my pocketbook out to pay you, I was like scared to death. I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? Life is already okay, you know? But I'm so glad that I did, because, and I don't want to sound like I'm selling you, but I really am selling you, because like if somebody else doesn't try to sell, you're going to sell yourself right out of it. And which is so easy to do, because it's sometimes it's comfortable being comfortable, but that's when you know, like you're in the death trap, because it's not going to get better unless you do something drastic. And I had to do something drastic, and it was like, and I felt so uncomfortable being in this room, and I got so scared speaking on stage, and I just was a little sponge. And that's why I'm here now. Like I want to continue to perfect and tweak from the person that's like the master at it, right? And so it's just been, you know, when you have a blueprint and you follow it, it makes it much easier than trying to figure it out on your own. It's pretty much impossible. Imagine 14 years to make $1 million, and then in 11 months, and then after very quickly, like $1 million a month. I mean, $1 million a month, that's like real numbers. Of course, it's not profit, all of it, right? But I mean, there's been months where we had a $3 million profit month. And it's like, you know how long that would take me as a teacher to do that? Like
a lifetime. And
my dad told me, Krista, normal people don't leave their job at 47. I was 47 to go be, a coach. Nobody's going to pay you to coach them. I love you, honey, but normal people don't do that, you know? And I remember you saying, like, if you want to learn from somebody, you have to ask the person that's done the thing. And so I listened to the person that's done the thing and just like listened, and just, you even say, you implement faster than anyone I've ever met. It's because I hire a teacher, I do what the teacher says, and then I hopefully do well, better than doing it on my own.
That's so awesome, man. Okay, so my last question for you. Now that you've gone through this process, you've experienced it all, if you go back to you when you were burned out and tired, like, and you knew this was the path you could take, what would you tell that version of you as your future self back then to get you to come on this path? Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I would just say, don't let your fear get in the way. Like that lizard, right? That lizard talks yourself right out of it. And I did for 4 years. For 4 years, I talked myself out of it because I was just scared. And had I done it sooner, because nobody was teaching what I taught 4 years prior. And some of them, they were when I finally took action. I just wish I would have done it quicker and trusted myself. And I mean, you got to think about this. A foster kid, having no money, I had to get very resourceful when I graduated from high school. And so I got student loans, put myself through school. Best decision I made. When I hired you, I mean, it was scary. That's a lot of money, $25,000, when that was like half of what I made in a whole year after 6 years of teaching. But I did it, and I'm just like, it's a whole new life. Like, I've never been happier. I love teaching. I get to do what I enjoy again. I get to add to people's lives and create an impact. And like, I wouldn't wait, and I wouldn't let my fear get in the way.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
First off, super glad that you messed up and showed up here. That was amazing, everybody. So thank you so much. And let's give Krista a huge round of applause. So thank you. Oh man, so exciting. Are you guys feeling this? You're getting excited? Like, okay, I could do this. Like, I believe I could actually do it, right? Someone said she has more energy than Russell. How is that even possible? We compete with energy, but yeah, she and how fast we both speak, we try to like time our words per minute. Like, it's pretty close. So it's awesome. All right, next up is our next special guest in Q. Awesome. Okay, our next special guest I wanted to bring because someone who I really look up to. I have a lot of admiration for this person as a human, as an entrepreneur. She came into our world and she had a product that wouldn't make sense for a perfect webinar. And what most people do is that they come into this world and they're looking for excuses of why this can't work for them, right? They're always like, I can't do it because of this, can't do this, this. She came in and she's like, oh, this is he's a perfect webinar. And she was selling a physical product. She went and she tried the perfect webinar and it didn't work at first. But instead of giving up, saying, oh, Russell's a scam, this isn't real, she kept trying until she figured out a way to make it work for what she's selling. And I'm excited to have her. So with that said, let's put our hands together for Jamie Cross. Jamie, how are you doing?
Oh, Russell, it's so good to see you. You look tan as I do.
We've been boating a lot this weekend. I'm kind of, anyway, yeah. So good to see you. First off, how you been? How's everything going for you?
It's actually really amazing. So many cool things happening. I'm so excited.
I'm excited. Next week, she's in my Atlas group, so next week we'll be hanging out in Arizona at the mastermind meeting, so we'll go deep into her business and everything, but I'm just excited to see you again and hang out. My question for you right now, because I kind of alluded to what you did, but what you do, but we talk about what your product actually is, so people can see, like, how would this actually work like the webinar work for your type of product?
Yes. Okay. So I started a soap company in 2010. And so, like so many people, I asked God for an idea, or I was just in my prayer time, and he gave me a vision. And so I started learning how to formulate, and I created these soap products. And we did, as soon as I had my finished product, I just started hitting the streets of Denver and Colorado Springs, walking into stores and talking to shop owners and buyers. And then we did farmers markets for 4 years. And so I was literally slinging soap and lotion bars, one-on-one, person to person for years. And I'll never forget, I still remember where I was sitting when it was 2016. So 6 years into business, and we were, like none of our money that we made in the farmers markets was going into we didn't get to keep any of that. Every time Nathan he'd be like, can we go anywhere or go on a vacation? Can we buy anything? Can we maybe upgrade our 300,000 mile minivan? We were like, well, I got to buy more shea butter and more essential oils. And so we didn't have any resources. And I came across your video. I remember coming to a point where I just knew we have to grow now, because we are completely capped where, we've got working 6 to 7 days a week at all these different markets all over Colorado. And we have this little tiny team, and I need to grow this thing. And I don't know anything about online marketing, and I've got this soap product, and how do you do all of this? And so I came across your video with Trey, and he was talking about gun cleaning kits. And I remember in this video, he was talking about going to Walmart and buying these gun cleaning kits and then selling like $2 million in a weekend. And I was like, if he can sell gun cleaning kits, certainly I can sell soap. And so it was that was the beginning of the journey. Just finding you changed everything.
So cool. And I think when you came into our world, it's about the time I wrote Expert Secrets. So I'm talking about Expert Secrets and webinars. That was like the topic I was talking to everybody about at the time. And you came into that. And I'm curious because the very first time, I think one of your first tests, right? You went and you built a whole webinar to sell your soap. And I'm curious, like, what did that webinar look like? And did it work? Did it not work? Like, what did that look like?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, actually, so I had read .com Secrets, and Expert Secrets wasn't out yet. And so I remember like emailing your team, when is this book coming out? When are you shipping me my book? Because you were so good at making this book. Like, this is the thing. So when I finally got my hands on it, I had been doing just really going through all of your trainings and reading the books. And I launched my first funnel. And like so many people, it certainly didn't work. It took me some time to figure out the whole like marketing part of it. And so I knew that the funnels would work, and I knew that the being online would work, but I had no idea how to do a webinar. And so we were running some traffic and no sales, literally zero. I didn't have a perfect webinar. We were just doing like the free plus shipping offer, and I had this $200 kit. It was just the wrong offer. And so when I finally got my hands on Expert Secrets, and financially, it was do or die for me. I had to figure this thing out. And so it wasn't very long. I remember doing the perfect webinar, and I tried the long one. It was like 30 minutes long. My palms were sweating. I was so nervous to get on camera, terrified actually. And there was like 3 people that showed up to that very first webinar. And of course, no sales at first, but finally, when I finally really locked into the concept of the webinar, I packaged it into a 5-minute message, sat in front of my brick wall in my house outside, and we went from zero. So breakthrough happened very quickly when I finally caught on to the webinar messaging. And just the roadmap, like following the roadmap, everything written in that book was so simple. So we went literally from farmers markets, not making any money. I even remember I joined Inner Circle literally 6 weeks after our very first ad started converting. And that was basically Nathan's entire annual paycheck was to join this Inner Circle. And man, everything changed from that point.
That's so cool. Anyway, I remember it's fun for me because like I remember seeing the process. Like you showed up to that inner circle meeting, you're talking about it, and then I think the next Funnel Hacking Live, you guys won your 2 Combo Club award like while Funnel Hacking Live was happening. And I remember like, and you're like, can we get this in? So we like rushed the paperwork, got it all through, and then you came on stage, you got your Funnel Hacking Live, your 2 Combo Club award, which I think was your anniversary too, wasn't it? Or your anniversary or birthday or something. And I remember that thing, and I watched you grow and scale, and it was just like, it was so fun to be like a little piece of that journey and watch as you went through and took this amazing idea, this amazing concept, and grew it into a huge business. And it's awesome. So I have one last question for you. Same one I've asked everybody else, but now that you've experienced this, if you go back to yourself at a farmer's market and you knew like what you know now, and you could talk to your past self, like what would you say to yourself right then to make sure that you went on this path and went on this journey despite all the fear and the anxiety that may come up when you're thinking about actually taking this leap of faith?
I would tell myself to embrace the fear and lean in harder and let it really propel you and take even faster action. It was like sleepless nights. There was a lot of anxiety at the time, financial stress. And I would just be like, hey, everything's going to be okay. You just keep doing the work. Do what Russell says, follow the process, and lean in harder. Just do the work.
So awesome. Well, thank you, Jamie. I appreciate you. Excited to see you next weekend and hang out. Everyone's give Jamie a huge round of applause. Thanks for making the time. You're the best. All right, you guys. Okay, so there you go. This works for any kind of business. It works for soaps, works for relationships, works for real estate. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, whatever you're selling, like, if you follow the process works, right? I've got one last person I'm going to share from, and this person I tried to get in, but they are literally doing an event right now, doing a 3-day event, about to make their pitch like today, like while they're here. Like, I can't come, but he was like, I'll make you a video right now, and I promise you I won't curse even once. That's what he told me. I was like, I don't think you can. He's like, I promise you can. And so last night he sent me this video. It's only a couple minutes long. He doesn't curse, so good for all. You don't have to cover your ears. This last presentation watch is from Garrett J. White, walking through how this messaging has worked to help him grow his empire, to change the world. And so that said, here's one quick presentation from Garrett J. White.
So what brought me into the ClickFunnels world? Well, I want to make money. And the truth was I had a message that I felt called to share. My name is Garrett J. White. I'm the founder of Wake Up Warrior, also DKW Styling. Also partners in 26 men's movements off the backside. We impact tens of thousands of men a month. And long before this $28 million home on the beach and the garage full of $500,000 vehicles, trips and vacations that are $100,000, $150,000 per vacation with my wife that we do 4 or 6 times a year. Prior to the brand, the t-shirts, the movement, everything, there was a problem. The problem I faced was pretty simple. I had a message that I knew needed to go out to the world. And I didn't know how to make that happen. So I was a mortgage broker and insurance agent, and we had lost everything in 2007 and in 2008, and my world started over. And as I pursued down this path, I felt God calling me to this bigger movement. I didn't see this house, I didn't see the brand of Warrior, I didn't see anything that we were doing, I couldn't. What I did know is that I felt called to go help people and to do things for people and to serve people the way that God was opening my heart up to do. So I birthed Wake Up Warrior, and we started making a difference. And I was learning about sales funnels, and I was learning about how to get my message out and how to advertise and market, and had a whole bunch of software tools, and I had a whole bunch of people helping me. I needed to find a way to get my message out, and that was going to require me to learn how to market, and so I did. And the software game was very complicated at the time. I was duct taping together a whole bunch of different software tools, Lead Pages, Infusionsoft, Kajabi, and then ClickFunnels came around, and I was like the 130th user on the platform. And I saw this tool, and my friends and some of my clients, you should use it, and I said, I don't know. Little did I realize that the decision to get involved, not in ClickFunnels software alone, but to be involved with Russell Brunson would have such an impact on me and my wife's life. .com Secrets became the converting conversation, just like you sitting here in this webinar series and learning about sales and marketing and conversions and the perfect webinar. All these things my wife and I started to learn too, and my wife duplicated my efforts and went on to build her own 8-figure brand in the hair extension world and coaching and training and leading hairstylists around the country, around the world. But all of it was about this problem, this challenge that we both faced, which was how do you bring the message we had to the masses? Like, how do you do it at scale? And this became the beginning stages of us learning the seductive game of the perfect webinar process and how to truly be an expert the way that Russell teaches. Expert Secrets became our Bible. It became the conversation piece around our house. We would talk about the Epiphany Bridge, and we would discuss, Danielle and I on vacation, our campaigns and what we were going to say next to get people to listen to our message, to ultimately apply for our programs, to buy our home study courses, to buy our books, and it worked. Like, it worked in a massive way. Like, I started watching as we would run traffic and advertising to these webinars, and these webinars would convert into qualified prospects and leads. And then we would sell them, or we were selling them straight off the webinar, and my world blew up. Like, between ClickFunnels and the power of the psychology of influence and persuasion I learned from Russell, our world blew up. Like, what does blow up look like? I mean, it's hard to describe how much things have transformed. See, when you have never made money, you don't understand what world is out there. When you start to get to a point where you can spend as much as you want on credit cards every month and pay them off for a month and it doesn't matter. When you start to realize that your income is always going to be a function of your impact, and that the only possible way to impact people is to add more value to people and to do it at scale. And so we started pursuing not just the perfect webinar conversation, we started pursuing, how do I take this message I had with Warrior of Waking Men Up? How do I help powerful men wake up? How do I help 1,000 of them wake up at a time? And this is when I started creating my own software tool called Warrior App, $12 million down the path on that. It's when I started doubling down on perfect webinar. I started following what Russell said. He said, I want you to do this webinar every single week. I want you to do it for a year, and we did. And we started building these automated ATMs. And we would run traffic to these ATMs, and it took a bunch of work to get them done, but we followed exactly the recipe he told us, and the game started converting, and then we did it again with a second one, and a third one, fourth one, and now I'm running traffic with ad teams to webinars that are now automated, that are converting into buyers every single day, and those buyers are being upsold into other programs through the same perfect webinar technology you're being taught right now. And then it started upgrading until I got to a point where we just had rivers of money coming from different directions. And people are like, well, what kind of money? I'm talking like to the tune of $7, $8, $9 million a year in take-home income. Now, is it all the perfect webinar? No. There's a bunch of other things involved in it, but it is a critical piece. So you can't have this game work without it. Like, you don't have a conversion mechanism. Views like this don't happen. This is my backyard. There's construction stuff happening. This is the ocean. We saw this home. Danielle and I, when we first started learning these things from Russell, we saw this neighborhood, we saw this home, we saw this place to raise our 5 children. And we said, we can go get this. And the only thing that was going to be required for us to go get it was to build a message into a marketing machine that would convert and sell predictably every single day. It wasn't enough to have a message. Without a message, with no marketing, the message means nothing. With no marketing, the message brings you no money. And then the worst part is the kind of person you become when you don't live your purpose. The kind of person you become when your life itself no longer makes any sense because you can't do normal jobs. You can't do normal businesses. I can't sell normal things because it's too late. You already know in your heart what you need to sell. And that's the thing that you're selling right now. That's the thing that you're learning about selling right now. You have this message, and Russell is giving you the tools. No different than he gave them to me, only you're getting them more profoundly simple. You're getting them more streamlined. You're getting more potent than we got them back in the day. We had already had success before. So I'm not going to bullshit you. I'm not like just saying that 100% of my results have come just from this. But what I say is that this was a key piece in moving it. Right? There's these pivotal moments, these pivotal things that occur in your world, people that come into your world, moments, events that come into your world, and when they hit you, they pivot your world forever. And your life is never the same again. You know, Danielle and I laugh because people ask us, so like, well, why do you need all of this? Do you need this house? Do you need these cars? Do you need these vacations? I was like, we're past the place of need. We don't need any of this, but this is what we want. And so much of what you're standing between you and your marriage and the family that you want and the life that you want is driven by you. See, your marriage, the one that you want, your family, the one that you want, your life, the one that you want, will be driven by the business that you build. And the business that you build is a function of the messaging and the marketing and the conversion mechanism known as a perfect webinar for getting them to cross the border, to get them to jump from prospect to payday, to get them to move from somebody who's interested to somebody who's committed, to get them to move from a place of I don't know to a place of I can't do this life without it. So many of you are gonna have a choice today, just like Danielle and I did. You know, my wife is writing her first book, God is my ghostwriter. And that's just like the published edition, like the first little rendition of it. Super proud of her, signed her book contract. Could have never imagined my wife would become a podcaster, that she would become an author. She's a mother of 5. Like, we built an empire together. We knew that we could be rich. We knew that we could be wealthy, doing what we loved and doing what God had called us to do. But we also knew we couldn't do it alone. And that's where you're sitting right now. Hello. And today you're going to be given an opportunity to make a decision like we did. And we were sitting on an end of an audience, in a camera, in an auditorium, in a convention center. How many times we've made these decisions sitting right here in our hearts and knowing that we had to go. I want you to ask yourself a question like, what's the worst thing that could happen? You go back to what you have. What's the best thing that could happen? That you could have the life that you've always dreamed of. My home, my life, the money, the wealth, the power, the influence, the marriage, the sex, the intimacy, the communication, the connection, my children, the leadership, the spiritual truth, the bonding, my physical body, everything about what my life is started with marketing. It started with sales. It started with understanding these two things. And the man that stood at the gate for us was Russell Brunson. And Russell Brunson standing here now giving you an opportunity to choose you, to choose your family, to choose your calling. No different than we did. I can promise you it won't be easy, but it'll be simple. I can promise you that you will not come without pain, but it will be purposefully powerful. I can promise you that it's not going to happen overnight, but it will happen sooner than you think. And there's no one in the world I would endorse more as a coach or a mentor in guiding you on this path with marketing mastery and sales mastery with the perfect webinar technology, the books of .com secrets, expert secrets, and traffic secrets, the backbone of the software of ClickFunnels, and the mindset and the psychology around one of the greatest marketers of our era, Mr. Russell Brunson. And today's your day. I'm gonna head back over to my office, which is about 3 minutes from here. Tomorrow, 50 of my newest clients will roll in, each one of them $50,000 to be here. Yeah, do the math, it's 2.5 million. To what? Come here to participate in an event with me. Do you know how I got them? A perfect webinar. Today, 10 to 12 people will join us inside of our Warrior Method Bootcamp. Today, 10 to 12 people will step into our salons. Today, 10 to 12 people will step into our trainer certification programs. There's one thing I could do different. If I went back to the beginning, I would have listened faster. I would not have hesitated at all. And I don't now. That's because I got a mountain of evidence that shows me what happens when I don't. Your mountain of evidence, it begins today.
Let's give Garrett a round of applause, you guys. Okay, everyone watching at home, you guys have had a chance to see people who were just like you, who were normal humans, everyday people who were scared, they had fear, they had anxiety, all the things were happening, they decided to come on a journey to change their lives. And now looking back in hindsight, it's simple. It's like, oh yeah, of course I did that. Of course I should. Of course that's the next step. But in the moment, it's always hard. It's always scary. So I'm here right now today to help you guys make a decision, to help you cut off all other options so we can focus on getting you to the finish line, getting you so that you can take your message and change the lives of the people you've been called to serve. Okay? And it all starts right now. If we throw my slides, this all starts with what I want to call, well, actually, before I tell you what I call it, a couple years ago, we had this as a mantra inside of our coaching programs, and somebody got offended by it. And so I ended up changing it. And last night I was putting together these slides for you guys, and I was like, you know what? Because one person got offended, I stopped talking about the story, but this story was so powerful, so impactful. So will you guys do me a favor? Will you all commit to me that you're not gonna get offended by what I'm gonna tell you right now? Okay? The goal is not to offend you. The goal is to inspire you. This is a metaphor to be able to help you guys to change your life forever. Okay? So if you guys all commit to that, you will promise you won't get offended. I will share this with you because I promise you, this mindset is what you need to be successful. Okay? What you need to do is have this mindset of what I call plato or plomo, okay, which stands for the bribe or the bullet, silver or lead or silver, okay? And the story behind this, I actually heard Gary Halbert, the Prince of Print that we talked about earlier today. I was on a call with him listening in, and he told the story the first time. He said that this concept of plato or plomo, he said this is something that if you look in like, gang areas and war zones down in South America or whatever, I don't know exactly the whole story, but he said if you go down there and they need these gang members, these mafia, whatever, they need to change the laws. He's like, they don't go and try to go through the political system to get the laws changed. He's like, they go to the person who's the decision maker, they break into their house and they walk them and say, you've got two decisions. We need you to change the law and you can do one of two things. Okay, plato or plomo, the bribe or the bullet, silver, lead, or gold. Like those are your two options. What are you going to do? And so when the options are lead or gold, right? You're either going to be dead or you're going to get a bunch of money. The option becomes very, very simple, right? Like, okay, I don't want to die, therefore I will take the bribe and I will make the law change. And suddenly, magically, things that are completely impossible suddenly become possible. Okay, he told me that story. I was. Man, a 22-year-old kid, the first time I heard that, and I started realizing, okay, if I'm gonna be successful enough, I can't keep pushing things off until mañana. Okay, mañana is the worst possible thing for entrepreneurs, right? We talked about resistance. It doesn't get you to say, I'm not gonna do this thing. It's like, oh, I'll do that thing tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. Okay, when I heard Gary Halbert talk about this plato or plomo, I said, I need to start setting plato or plomo deadlines in my head. I had to pick a deadline, and then I had to pretend like this thing is real. I had to pretend like if I don't hit this deadline, one or two things happen. Number one, lead, I'm going to die. Or number two, the bribe. I win, I get gold, whatever that thing might be, right? And so I started tricking myself. So when we started creating my very first funnels ever, and it was just me in the basement trying to figure out how I'm going to do something, I said, okay, I have to launch this product. I've got 14 days. This is my deadline, and it has to happen. In my mind, it was like, this is the day. Like, if it doesn't happen, I die. And I would trick my mind to the thought that, like, this is it. Plato or plomo, this is the day it has to happen. And I would set that deadline, and no matter what happened, I always hit the deadline. And I did that for years, year after year after year. When I wanted to create a program, a coaching, an event, whatever that thing might be, I would set the deadline, I set it in stone, and I would not deviate from that thing. Too many of you guys let yourself off the hook way too easy. You set the goal, and you get close to like, oh, we'll bump it another week. We'll bump it up another week. We'll bump it another week. You keep pushing and keep pushing and keep pushing, okay? So I want to start today right now is I want all of you guys to pick a lead or gold deadline, your plato or plomo deadline. Like, when is it you're going to do your very first one-to-many presentation, okay? And I want you to pick it. And I want you to be very, very thoughtful as you do this, because I'm going to be holding you guys accountable to this. As your coach, as your mentor, I'm going to be holding you guys accountable to the date that you are going to be picking. Okay, at the same time, I want us as a community holding each other accountable to this. So I want you to start thinking about it. For you to go through this process, to create your one-to-many presentation, to create your offer, to put the things all together, when do you realistically think, if you start focusing today, to start implementing that, how long is it going to take you? Okay? And like, you can spend a second, look at your calendar, what's coming up in your life, whatever it might be. There's always going to be an excuse, like, oh, I'm out of town next week, oh, I got this, and then I got to go. There's always something that's going to happen. Okay? Things will always get in the way until you will not allow it to happen. When you set an actual plato or plomo deadline, this has to happen, then it's going to happen. Okay, you gotta stop letting yourself off the hook. So that's number one, is picking the deadline. Now, I would recommend for most of you guys to execute on a one-to-many presentation your very first time. It traditionally takes about 6 weeks to go through the process. 6 weeks to figure out what's the offer, creating the stuff that's gonna be in the offer, writing the webinar presentation, putting it together, getting the funnel done, and starting driving traffic. It's about a 6-week period of time, if we're completely honest, okay? So I would look about from right now about 6 weeks out and say, because 6 weeks from now, can I set that as a date? Okay, so that's number one. Okay, so pick a date for one-to-many presentation. Now, one thing this is going to do, this is going to get you guys out of the growth mindset. Now, growth is great. I love growth mindset. Okay, but there's another level beyond growth. The next level is contribution. Okay, right now you guys are growing, you're learning, you're listening to podcasts, you're reading books, you're doing all this kind of stuff. I need to get you out of this growth mindset and have you focus on contribution. It's now time to get out of the growth phase, and now it's time to contribute, to get out of ourselves and create something that we can change the world with. Okay, it's creating the offer, creating the presentation, gathering the people, the many, so we can give the one-to-many presentation, and that's what's gonna happen right now, okay? So this is step number one, is actually picking the date, okay? So right now, I want you guys in the comments, wherever you're at, if it's on Zoom, if it's in school, wherever you're at, I want you guys to pick a date and type it in right now. What is the date that you're gonna do your very first presentation? This is important. Now, one thing I want to know, because some of you guys are like, this is awesome, Russell, but I don't have an offer to sell yet. One thing I want to know is like, you don't actually have the offer finished. The offer does not have to be finished for you to launch the presentation. Okay? This is a big misunderstanding. I've had people who spend 6 months, a year trying to create the product, trying to create the offer, and they never get it done because it's like, waiting, it's so hard. I'm going to show you guys a simpler way. Okay? A couple of months ago, we launched the Course Secrets offer. Some of you guys saw me do that offer. When I launched the Course Secrets offer, guess what I'd created so far? I'd created an outline of what I was going to teach inside the Course Secrets offer, and that was it. Okay? Then I created the one-to-many presentation. I gathered the audience. I gave the one-to-many presentation. I told them, we are starting a live training starting on Monday. It's going to be amazing. You do not want to miss it, right? Monday is happening. Go sign up right now. Monday is day number 1. They signed up. They showed up, and then day number 1 is the first class started. So I don't have to create the entire offer. I just had to know what's the outline where I'm going. We get the people signed up, and then we can start doing it. Now, if nobody bought, guess what I'm not going to do? I'm not going to go spend 6 months creating an offer, okay? Just like college doesn't create the teaching ahead of time, right? They sell you, pay the tuition, and then you show up and they deliver every single day. The same way can happen with your offers. It's a simpler way to do it initially, okay? And also, for a lot of you guys, it's going to get you to stop procrastinating, okay? When I launched ClickFunnels, guess what I didn't have? I didn't have the training course done yet, right? My friend invited me to the event. I got on stage, and he's like, you need a $1,000 version of the software. So I'm like, okay, what are you going to get? ClickFunnels for a year, and then you're going to get a training course called Funnel Hacks. It's going to be amazing. In fact, the first class starts Monday. It's going to be amazing, right? And I sold that, told him it's going to be coming. And then actually, I told him it was going to be like 4 weeks. I'm like, the first class is happening in 4 weeks, because I knew I wanted to sell a whole bunch of them before I started training. So I'm like, 4 weeks now is the very first class. So they all knew they signed up. 4 weeks now, class number one's happening. Then I went back, I did another webinar. And I told the next group, hey, the course is starting in 3 weeks. And I told the next people, hey, the course is starting in 2 weeks. Next week, hey, the course starting next week. Last webinars, course starting tomorrow. And I had sold almost 1,000 people before I taught the very first course. And then I taught the first course, but guess what I didn't do? I didn't stop doing webinars. Then I did another webinar. I told everyone, hey, everyone, the first course started last week. The best news is you can literally go and you can watch module number 1 tonight, and then the next one starts tomorrow. So when you sign up right now, you can go get started tonight, right? Then 2 weeks later, I was like, hey, guess what? We actually started the live training 2 weeks ago, which is awesome for you. You don't have to wait for it coming up. Everyone who signed up initially had to wait a month. You can go in there, watch module 1 and module number 2, and module number 3 starts tomorrow. And I kept doing that until eventually all the modules were trained, and I just kept shifting how I was pitching it, okay? But I didn't have to have the offer finished to launch the one-to-many presentation, okay? You have to know what it is. You have to kind of have an understanding what you're creating, but then you do it with the people live, and that's the power. That's the magic. Now, also, you probably noticed this. How many of you guys have ever bought a course that's somebody behind a microphone reading something, and it's like the most boring thing ever, and you instantly ask for a refund because you're so bored? Okay? I remember the very first time I heard Brian Tracy speak. He was on stage speaking, and I was like, this is the most charismatic speaker ever. I was like, I love this guy. So I went that night, and I bought every Brian Tracy thing I could find. Everything showed up. I remember putting the first course in, and it was him behind a microphone at a desk teaching something. And within like 15 minutes, I was like, oh, and I stopped listening to it. I was like, Brian Tracy's not that exciting. But he was so good on stage. Like there's something about live energy when you have to present live and people are showing up and they're asking you questions ahead of time. You show up and you deliver differently than if you are recording a course. It shifts everything, right? If I was trying to record this 3-day event ahead of time, I would be talking, I'd mess up like, oh, Brandon, sorry, I couldn't re-edit that. And I'd try again. It would take me 4 hours to record a 1 hour piece of content. But when I'm live, like we're live. I have a beginning and an end, and somehow magically it just becomes easier, okay? And so don't think you have to have the offer finished before you're gonna launch, okay? So if that takes some pressure off your guys' back, like, okay, I picked it, I can actually do this, it's actually not gonna be too bad, okay? Now, one thing I wanna share with you guys, you guys remember yesterday I showed you this video of Alex talking about the level 10 opportunity? Now, there was one clip, there's like a 15-second clip in the middle of what he said that I wanna make sure you guys didn't miss, because this is the key. Okay, so check out this. Here's the little clip for the Alex that I want to share with you guys, and I'll come back and explain why this is so important. Here we go.
So I go there, and one of the side rooms is Russell, and he goes and pitches ClickFunnels. But he couldn't actually do the stack because they weren't allowed to sell. So he did his entire sales presentation and then literally just stopped before the buy button. And I was like, I want whatever. I was like, screw the gyms. I want to learn how to do this stuff. And then, like most things, because I couldn't buy, there was nothing that I did, and I went back to my life for 2 years, and that was it. And then when I was having some sort of existential crisis, because I was now 26 or 27 at the time, I Googled, I was like, you know what, that Russell thing was really cool. So out of the blue, I Google his name, and the first link that comes up is, are you one of my dream clients or something, which was directly to his mastermind.
Okay, do you guys get what just happened? So Alex, here's the presentation. He's all excited, he's on fire, and I don't sell him anything, and then he disappears. And for 2 years, he does nothing. 2 years of wasted time and energy and effort that was not there because he didn't take action, okay? Now, we've experienced a day and a half, almost 2 days together. We've got one more day tomorrow, which is gonna be amazing. But my biggest fear in life is you're gonna experience this, you're gonna be excited, motivated, we're dancing, we're jumping, you get a bunch of ahas, you're in growth mode, you're loving and you're learning, and then this ends, and then you go back to your normal life. and nothing happens. Nothing changes. It's my biggest fear in life. So because of that, I do not want that to happen to you. And so because of that, I want to make you guys a special offer to help you guys to actually be successful. So you can hit your Plot or Paloma deadline, so you can be successful and get your one-to-many presentation out there. So I want to ask you guys a real quick question. How many of you guys would be interested if over the next 6 weeks or so, me and my team help you guys, number one, actually figure out what your level 10 offer is going to be? Okay. Number two, help you guys write your presentation. And number three, help you take it on the road so you can get your 2 commas worth of impact. Okay. You guys sound good? You interested in that? Okay. So for me, my entire goal is to get you guys to win these awards. That's why we created them, okay? And again, these are dumb because all they are awards about how much money you make, but if you look at what they mean, right? When Stacy said when she hit a 2 comma club, the amount of people's lives she had to change to get a 2 comma club or 2 comma club X award is huge. Like that's the actual impact. So my entire goal is to get you guys to win one of these awards as quick as we can. And the fastest way I know how to do it is through creating a one-to-many presentation, gathering the many, giving the presentation, and selling something to them, right? And so I want this to be your guys' goal as well. How many of you guys have a goal right now to win a 2 comma club award? Or if you've already won one, you want 2 comma club X award. Okay, if that's you, raise your hand right now. Okay, now this can't be like, oh, that'd be nice. If you're like, that'd be nice, it's probably not gonna be good for you. I want this to be something that's so burdened, like that you think about it every single day, a burning desire. Napoleon Hill talks about having a burning desire, right? So much so that you would do anything to go and have success. If that's you, then I can help you. If you're like, oh, that'd be nice, it's gonna be hard. Like you're probably not the right fit. But if you're like, I'm gonna make this work one way or the other, I'm gonna show up, I'm gonna take action, I'm gonna go through it. I promise you, we can help you to be successful on that road. Okay? This is one of my favorite people. Some of you guys know Dana Derricks. Dana came to Funnel Hacking Live, didn't win a 2 comma club award, and then 2 days after Funnel Hacking Live, he sent me this video, and I watched it. And this is how serious Dana was about winning a 2 comma club award. And I want you guys to be at least this serious, if not more so, because if you are, I promise you, it's not that hard to get it, right? You just have to be committed and like serious enough to actually take the action you need. So check out this video from Dana.
Dana Derricks here. I just wanted to shoot a quick video. For those of you that were at the Funnel Hacking Live event, you were absolutely blown away by it. If you're like me and a lot of the people there, we walked away without one of those nice fancy awards called the 2 comma club award, and that kind of left a little bit of a sour taste in my mouth. And what I mean by that is I want one of those, and I don't want one of those, I want a lot of them. This is my wall, right, at my office. This is a permanent marker. This is what I'm doing. This is a wall with a permanent marker. This is my name. Okay, see what I did there? Now, guess what I get to look at every single time I walk into my office? Guess what I'm gonna do for the next 12 months? Okay? That's gonna piss me off every single day, because that needs to be covered up. Now, I encourage you to do the same thing. I don't care if it's in your office, if it's in your bedroom, if it's on your refrigerator, if it's on your forehead, I don't care. Do that, okay? You're gonna be standing on stage with some of these, okay? Good luck to you.
All right, so that's the kind of commitment I'm talking about if you guys want to be successful. Now, it's crazy. Funnel Hacking Live happens. Dana sends me that video a couple days later. And 12 months later, Funnel Hacking Live, guess what Dana achieved? He won a 2 comma club award, right? Give him a round of applause, okay? Why do that? Because it wasn't just like, oh, that'd be nice to have. He's like, I am going to do it. I'm going to burn the ships. I'm going to focus on this until I achieve my goal and my results. So much so, I'm going to draw on my wall with permanent marker. My wife would have destroyed me, by the way, had I done that. And at least I would have had to get a ruler out to make sure it was symmetrical. Like it was, anyway, you guys saw it. So right now, I am looking for a few of my dream clients who I can help turn their calling into a career so they can change the lives of the people they've been called to serve. How many of you guys that sounds a little bit like you guys right now? Okay. All right, you guys are my people. That's why you are still here after 2.5 days of talking about presentations. This is so much fun. So we created a new program. This is brand new. No, this is not something that's been out there in the world yet. This is something special for you guys today. And I'm calling this program Fountainhead. Now, if you know Atlas Shrugged, Ayn Rand wrote a book ahead of time called Fountainhead. It kind of goes into the whole, the whole theme with everything. But what the Fountainhead is a metaphor for someone who's an original thinker or a creator, someone who is the source of innovation and progress. That's you. You guys are the thinkers, the creators, the people who are doing things. And so the Fountainhead is all about the beginning of everything, to help you guys, the very beginning of this journey, to help you going from right here, which is someone in the Fountainhead, to become someone who's a prime mover. Okay? I want you guys to be those people, but to do that, we have to transform. We have to create an offer. We have to get a presentation out there. We have to start building your herd, building your audience of people, and then you can change their lives. That's how you become a prime mover. Okay? So Fountainhead is all about that, getting you from where you are today to help you to become a prime mover where you can literally change the world. Okay? You've seen the people we've brought on stage today, like Stacy and Paul Martino. Like I've watched them. They're like less than 1% divorce rate inside their programs, helping tens of thousands of families in marriage and in relationships. Like it's insane how many people's lives they've changed because they were willing to step off of the sidelines, get into the game, and do what you guys are doing today. Okay? That's powerful. So this is how it's going to work. Okay? Step number 1. First thing we're going to do is we're going to help you to create your level 10 offer as soon as humanly possible. Because every second that you don't have an offer, you are literally bleeding money. Okay? And if you're bleeding in real life, you would do something about it quickly, right? For you guys, if you don't have a level 10 offer right now, we need to stop that now. We need to create an offer for you as quick as humanly possible, okay? Now, to get you guys to 2 Comma Club as fast as possible, there's 3 types of offers you can create, okay? Number 1 is some type of offer that's like $1,000, right? You create a $1,000 offer, you sell 1,000 of them, boom, you got a 2 Comma Club award, right? Number 2 type of offer is like a $10,000 offer. Create a $10,000 offer, you sell 100 of them, boom, 2 Comma Club award, okay? Or some of you guys may want a higher ticket, you create a $25,000 offer, you sell 40 of them, boom, you're in 2 Comma Club award. So I'm curious right now, how many guys these are the 3 options. You guys want to create a $1,000 offer, $10,000, 25. Type that in the comments down on the side, wherever you're at right now. What type of offer do you want to create? Okay, let me know. Now, I've created and successfully sold all of these by myself, one-to-many. Okay, a lot of people are like, well, if it gets over $1,000, you have to have a sales team, Russell, to sell. That's not true. Okay, I've sold all of these by myself, one-to-many, doing presentations. Okay, example, this is me at 10X, right? I actually made a $3,000 offer. We did a 90-minute presentation, sold 1,000 of them, right? So we hit 2 Comma Club in less than 90 minutes. Now, for you guys, we're going to help you create an offer that's a third of that, so it's less expensive, it's easier, and we got more time to do it, right? So I know exactly how to create a $1,000 offer. It's not that difficult. We'll help you guys to structure your offer correctly, okay? Some of you guys want to do a $10,000 offer. $10,000 offers are awesome. And again, people always tell me, like, you have to sell $10,000 offers on the phone. You don't. Okay, when I did the Funnel Builder Certification Program, we created a $10,000 offer. I created a perfect webinar. We pitched it, and boom, 2 Comma Club, almost instantly selling a $10,000 offer. Like, the process works. Doesn't matter the price point, okay? You create an irresistible offer. You present it correctly. People will buy it. Okay, and then if you want a $25,000 offer, this is what I've been selling for the last 8 years of Funnel Hacking Live. We have a $25,000 offer. You just get 40 people, you're in 2 Comma Club, okay? So I know how to create $25,000 offers as well. So the first thing we'll do is help you figure out what offer you're gonna create, help you structure it, get it put together, so now you know exactly what you need to create to be successful, okay? And some of you guys are watching like, but Russell, I don't have a product yet. Okay, if you don't have a product yet, don't worry. That's probably been an excuse for some of you guys for a long time, right? You've probably been on more than one of my trainings like, well, someday I'm gonna do this, but I don't have a product yet. Someday I'm gonna do it, I don't have a product yet. So I wanna include something to help you guys so that this will no longer ever be an excuse for you ever, okay? I told you guys earlier, I did a course called Course Secrets. It was a 6-week course to teach people how to create a course. I take the ideas out of their head, package them in a way that you can sell it. Okay. In fact, a lot of you guys who are on this training went through the Course Secrets training. We sell this for $500 right now. If you decide to join us in this journey, say, I will give this to you guys for free as part of it. That way, if you don't have a product yet, step number 1 is go through the Course Secrets course. The good news is all the trainings are done. You don't have to wait 6 weeks. You can do them in 6 hours or 6 days. Like, you can do it quicker, right? But it will give you access to Course Secrets. That way, you'll never have an excuse again that I don't have anything to sell. Do the process there. We'll help you figure out your frameworks, turn it into a product, record it, capture it, put it in a membership site, and boom, you now have something to sell. Okay? And if you bought this course in the past and you joined us anyway, let us know and I'll refund your $500 you paid for this in the past. That way, no harm, no foul. We love you as students. We want to make sure that we're taking you to each step in the process together. Okay? All right. So, clicker is not clicking. All right, so step number 2 then, after we have created the offer, step number 2 then is then we got to write your one-to-many presentation. Okay, the difference between $1 million offer and one that bombs, as you guys know, after spending the last day and a half with me, is the presentation. The presentation is key. You do the presentation correctly, you have success. You do it incorrectly, you won't, right? Stacy Martino, 18,000 people on a webinar. Great offer, wrong presentation, nobody buys. Changes the presentation, first time out of the gate, 20% conversion rate. Changes everything, right? So we got to create the right presentation. So here's how we're going to help you get it done ASAP, because as you know, money follows speed. This is not something that's like, this is a 12-month or 2-year or 25-year coaching program. We wanted to compress time to get you guys from where your goals are. I saw your guys' goals. Most of you guys, your goals like 6 weeks out. So to get you guys to your goals as quick as humanly possible, so there's no time to procrastinate or to be slow, we have created 6 facilitated training events. Okay, and these events are happening. In fact, the very first one is happening this Monday. You need to be on it, but there are 6 events, okay? And these events are hosted by my friend Chris Cameron. And you guys have had a chance to meet Chris. He's been emceeing. Chris and I go way back. We used to knock doors in Jersey together. This is us goofing off way back in the day. Back for 2 years, we were knocking on doors, teaching religion, having a bunch of fun together. Got to know each other. A couple of years ago, he came into our world, and he was doing presentations he learned the perfect webinar, was doing it for a different business. Eventually, I recruited him back to us. We were building a sales team. He was the head of our sales team. He trained a whole bunch of other speakers to do our presentation. Then he was on the road with other speakers doing the presentation all around the world. He's someone who's not just like has an understanding of this. He's someone who knows this. He lives it. He breathes it. He does it. He understands presentation. So the person who will be doing the facilitation that's running through this process is him and his team, but they're not someone who's just like, I don't know anything about events. Like, they're doing them at a very, very high scale for me consistently, okay? So the way the facilitated events work is these events come up. Again, there's 6 of them, okay? So the number one thing you're gonna watch, you're gonna go through facilitate event number 1. Next one is Monday, okay? You go in there, you're gonna jump on, and usually they're, depending on the curriculum, sometimes it's 3 hours, 5, but it's a one-day event focused on the one piece, going very much into the tactics of it. Okay, as you guys know, over the last 2 days, we've been going very strategic, helping you understand the strategy behind everything. Now we're going tactical. Here's slide number 1. Here's slide number 2. Here's the offer. Let's figure it out. We're going through piece by piece by piece, okay? So you're gonna go to the facilitate event, you jump on, you block off half a day to a day, depending on which event it is. You go through the entire process, right? And you're gonna be actually in the slides, building out slide number 1, slide number 2, like all the slides will be being built. After it's done, okay? Chris does open office hours, so like you can go to live training facilitated. Then after that, for the rest of the week, if you get stuck, there's live office hours, we have group training, there's a whole community just for people focusing on this. You can go in there and get your questions answered. So if you're like, I did a slide, is it good? Like, people can be like, no, it's not bad. It's not good. This is bad. Change this, tweak this. It's like you have a whole community of people, plus our coaches, plus Chris Cameron, who can look at your stuff and give you feedback every single week, okay? So do the live training, start building slides out. You got all week to start going crazy on it. After you get it done, you finish everything from event number 1, then you get, again, open office hours throughout the week. After that happens, then you check it off, and then you get past event number 2. Then you sign for event number 2. You find the date and the time. You register for it. You go through the training. We keep going through the next process, and you do that over and over and over again for 6 weeks or 6 days. You can sign up as quick as you want. We do have live facilitated trainings, but for the crazy people, we also have the last training we did is also archived. So if you're like, I want to do this tonight at 3 in the morning, like, you don't have to wait for facilitate training. If you don't want to, you can jump in and just do it, okay? But I like doing the live events because it gives you a chance to, similar to what we do right now, you have a chance to work on something, go breakout rooms, share ideas with each other, so we can do it as a community, but you can also go on your own pace if you'd like to, okay? The end result of the 6 weeks is your entire perfect webinar presentation will be finished. Every single slide, the offer stack, everything you need will be done, it'll be finished, and now you have what you need to go and deliver your one-to-many presentation, okay? So as I know, we've been telling you this whole event, the process is simple. Number 1, create a level 10 offer. Number 2, create a one-to-many presentation. And then from there, now we can go on the road to get our 2 commas worth of impact, okay? After that 6-week event's done, then we'll work you together to get this thing launched, to actually create the webinar, the registration page, the landing page, to launch it, put it out in the world, and then what's gonna happen, you're gonna launch it, and boom, you're gonna give your one-to-many presentation, you're gonna make your level 10 offer, and hopefully what's gonna happen is you're gonna start on the path to earning your 2 commas worth of impact, okay? All in the next 6 weeks, okay? How many of us like our help to help you implement this stuff so you're not just like guessing and hoping? Right? If you want absolute certainty as you were creating this, that's what this program is for, okay? Now, this is a quick video from Nadia and Nicole. They're literally on these calls right now with Chris Cameron going through these things. I think they're on week 4 or 5 right now going through the process, and they sent me this video. They're like, Russell, you're giving a presentation. You should share what's happening for us. Like, we're going through this process right now. It's the greatest in the world. So they sent us a 1-minute video to explain their experience right now going through these facilitated events, building out their webinar. So this is from Nadia and Nicole, the Wealth Twins. Their experience going through this process live right now.
Hi, guys. I'm Nadia. And I'm Nicole, and we're the Wealth Twins. We want to talk to you about our experience in Fountainhead. Guys, if you ever tried to implement the perfect webinar in the past, or have ever done webinars, you know building out one is not easy. But really, with the way Fountainhead is set up and the program, the layout, the content, and the tools and resources they give you, it makes the process so simple, it's kind of hard to fail.
Yeah, speaking about those resources, this takes it to the next level because you actually have live coaching and open office hours where you can ask questions. And not only are you able to ask questions, you're asking those questions to people who have done this in the past and have been successful with this. I think this is an excellent coaching program, and it's helped us transform our webinar.
Truthfully, guys, if you want to be successful and you want to work with people who are really invested in your success, along with actually implementing and learning how to implement the perfect webinar the right way, then there's a no-brainer. Join Fountainhead, and then thank Russell later.
So awesome. I just asked Chris, what module are on? He's like, they're on module 5 right now, right? They're module 5, then 6 that are launching, and then they're off to the races. Now the fun begins. Now you have an offer, you have momentum, you have people you're selling to. Like, all the fun begins when you get to that point. And again, they're on module 5, so they're like so close to being to the end. And you guys right now, like I said, by Monday, you will be starting module number 1, and you're off to the races going to this process, which is so cool, okay? So this is called, what we're calling this is the Prime Mover Foundation, okay? The first part of the offer is what we call Fountainhead, okay? And again, this is help you guys to create your level 10 offer. To if you don't have a product yet, you get course secrets, and then we're gonna help you to master your one-to-many presentation, actually help work with you to create it in group, so that way your presentation will be done. We actually even I give you the slide deck, so you have like my slide deck, you go and you just like take my picture off, throw your picture. So like, you don't have to like be an artist or anything. You can take what we have and you can just like literally copy and paste, move things around and create your offer from my slide deck, which is really cool. Okay. Total value right now is $24,997. Okay. Now, the next question I have for you guys is, what if you go out there and you create the webinar, you create the presentation, and then you go out there and you give your one-to-many presentation and you make your level 10 offer, and then you're, I mean, that's the fear. Like, what if I do this, nobody buys? Yeah, a lot of you like, yeah, I see hands like, that's my fear, okay? I want to tell you guys a story. Inside of Inner Circle, when we launched Expert Secrets, I had everybody in Inner Circle only focusing on this. So like, all they were allowed to do is like creating a webinar presentation and launching it. And I remember going through the process, everyone, they'd come through Vadivit, build it out, and then usually the night before the webinar, they would send me a Voxer message and say, hey, Russell, my webinar's tomorrow, I got 100 people signed up, and I'm so excited. And like, I would always Vox them back, say, hey, just real quick, this is not the pep talk you are looking for, but I'm preparing you because the very first time you do this webinar, it is probably not going to work. Chances are it's not going to work and you're not going to make any money. I want to preface this because after it happens, I don't want to be like, oh, this doesn't work. One-to-many stuff is a scam, okay? The problem is this is the very first time you've ever done it, okay? And when you first do it the very first time, you are going to suck at it. I promise you that. Okay, here's a quick 30-second video from Garrett White to explain the process that I want to make sure you understand. Because the very first time you do this, you are not going to be good. So this is some real hard truth from Garrett J. White.
So first off, understand, no matter what you try, in the beginning, it's going to suck. Because you suck. But you'll get better, and you'll suck less as you keep doing this, and eventually you'll suck less so little that you'll actually be good. But just surrender to the fact that you're going to suck.
Okay, yeah, so surrender to the fact you're going to suck. The very first time, you're not going to be great at it, okay? But you have to do it. You have to start getting the reps in, okay? The first webinar you do, and then you're going to do it, and this is what's going to happen. Most of you guys are going to overteach. You're going to be teaching tactics. Your offer's going to be wrong. You're like, Russell, it's not working. What do I do? And I'm like, I'm not. If I was to look at your webinar, review the whole thing 9 times out of 10, you're probably teaching too much. Is that true? And they're like, oh, yeah, and like your offer probably no good. And like, we'll look at 2 or 3 things, make some tweaks, but you have to start doing it, right? This is not a one and done. This is something you create, and then I told you as a secret, you go out there, and this is the weekly thing. Every week, we're gonna do the webinar. We're gonna get better. We're gonna get better. And then like Garrett said, eventually you'll suck less so little, you'll actually be good, right? That's the game plan, but you have to do it over and over and over again, okay? You have to learn mastery. So after you've gone through the Fountainhead process, you've gone through the first 6 things, you've launched the webinar out into the world, you've had a chance to your very first case study, the next thing I wanna give you is what we're calling one-to-many mastery. Now this is something that I am insanely passionate about. This is the group that I'm going to be spending so much time in because this is where I have the most fun. Like the hardest part is getting you to have the webinar. After it's done, now it's like tweaking, changing, testing, tweaking, like it becomes really, really fun. So inside the one-to-many mastery, there's a bunch of really cool things, okay? The first thing we have inside of here are what we call funnel and sales debriefs, okay? How many of you guys liked the session last night where I did the funnel debrief, walking us through the Thinking Orders Challenge funnel? Yeah, so that's what happens inside here, inside the members area, is I go through and every time I do a presentation on stage, every time I do a webinar, every time we launch a funnel, when we're done, I do a video debriefing showing everything we did, what worked, what didn't work, what we're changing, what we're tweaking, and all that kind of stuff. And then I put it in here, and then you can see all the funnel debriefs. So instead of like guessing and hoping, you can go and see like, what did Russell do? Like my plan is Saturday morning, I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna make a funnel debrief of the last 3 days. Okay, I'm gonna debrief it. This is for myself, this is for my staff, for my team, from our community, and then we post in here and then you can see it. Okay, when you go in right now, we have funnel debriefs, probably 20 different funnels already in here. Like all the funnels we've been launching over time, all the webinars they're all in here. In fact, one of my favorite ones is after I did $3.2 million at 10X, I went down, I sat down with the camera, and I said, okay, I'm gonna show you guys the presentation. We click play, and it ends up being a 3-hour presentation. I watch part of it, I pause it, I'm like, this is what I did and why I did it. Then I click on pause and watch the next second, I stop, this is why I did that. And so like, you see these all the time. So for you to get better and better, you go through these funnel debriefs and watch like what we're doing, how we're doing, the tweaks we're making in real time, and you don't have to go figure it out. You just come and watch what we're doing, make the models, make the tweaks into what you're doing as well, okay? So that's the funnels and sales debriefs. Next thing is called the webinar swipe file. How many of you guys, when you see me pitch, it gives you ideas on stuff you can do inside of your pitches? Okay? Inside of the webinar swipe file, every webinar presentation I've done basically ever that worked, that actually sold stuff, I plug them in here. So if you're like, okay, how would Russell pitch a $25,000 mastermind group? You log in the swipe file and watch the thing. Oh, that's how he pitched. I'm going to model that. How would I sell a continuity program through a webinar? Oh, there's 3 times Russell did that. How would I sell a $1,000 course? Oh, here it is. And you can go and just watch the webinar and be like, oh, look how he positioned it. Look how he told the stories. And you see exactly how to do it. Okay, Steve Larson, when he came to my world, he was the one who gave me this idea. He literally went and found every webinar I'd ever done. He ripped the audio file and he put it on an audio track. And he said when he used to work out and drive around, he listened to me pitching over and over and over again to the point where he knew how to pitch just like me because he heard me do it so many times. So webinar swipe file is all the pitches I do. In fact, this presentation, if it turns out well afterwards, we'll put it in here and you can go back and watch this pitch to see how I did it. So if you're like, I want to sell an offer at that price point, that type of thing, how would you structure it that way? Okay, so the swipe file is there for you to get ideas on how to position and pitch your webinars. Next are the improv webinars. Again, you guys saw the Allison Prince one today. There's a bunch of other ones in there. And right now, I told you guys I have a $100,000 day that we're doing right now. And so what's going to happen is every single month, I'll be doing one of those. And then when I do the improv webinar, I'll plug in here so you can see me taking people's offers, random things, doing the presentation. I'll plug in here so you can see me doing improv webinars, which hopefully gives you ideas about how to structure your offers and your webinars and things like that. Okay. Also inside here, we have what we call copy paste closes. Okay. All the closes I showed you guys, I showed you like 5 or 6 today, different copy and paste closes. When I see good presentations, I grab copies of those things, I throw them in here. That way you see dozens and dozens and dozens of different ways to close things, and you can go and watch them. Okay, in fact, the very first one here, if you look at the screenshot, it says Childers Chunks. So John Childer was one of the people I learned public speaking from back in the day. He had a course, it was $25,000 where he taught all of his closes. He called it Childers Chunks. I licensed the rights from him for that program, and I put them all in here. So I paid $25,000 when I was learning how to speak from stage to him to learn this, and now you guys get it for free here inside of the copy paste closes as well. So all my closes in here, all other people's and this is the growing repertoire, or growing archive of closes for me personally, and I plug them in here, and that way you can look at them as well, and you can start learning and modeling these closes and weaving them into your presentations as well. Okay, so these are a bunch of the things that are here inside of the one-to-many mastery members area. It's hosted here on School, which is kind of fun, because that way all the courses are in here. We have community, you can ask me questions. This is pretty much the only place in the world you can ask me questions is in here inside these communities, because I'm in here active all the time, and it's a really cool thing that we're putting together for you guys, okay? So that's what one-to-many mastery is, and note right here says, this is a living product. This isn't a course you log into and you watch videos from 6 years ago. This is living, it's growing, it's breathing. I'm in there, other people in there, all of us who are doing these kind of webinars are in there, sharing their stats, sharing the results. Again, this is just launching right now, but my vision for this is gonna be amazing, where all of us who are doing this game together will continue to share ideas. Okay, when we first launched Inner Circle and I started teaching them on a webinar, it was crazy because 3 times a year, everyone would come in this room right here, and we would all share notes, okay? And so it'd be Brandon and Caitlin Pohl, and came up here, and Caitlin's like, I did this, and this on a webinar, increased conversion rates. And everyone's like, that's awesome. Then we all copy it, and all of our webinars got better. And then someone else comes, I'm doing this. And what happened is everybody's webinars, their presentations, and phones all start growing and growing and growing. And all of us as a community went from webinars that were doing 5 figures a day to 6 figures to 7 figures and beyond, right? So that's what this group is all about, is giving the chance for all of us to master our presentations, okay? So after the 6 weeks are over from Fountainhead, you launch a presentation, jump into mastery, now we make it better and better and better and better. And this is how you become a master, okay? All right, so the first thing you can get, again, is Fountainhead. That's the first 6-week training course you're gonna go through starting Monday to get your presentation and your offers done. Then after that, you jump into one-to-many mastery. We have our event selling debriefs, 7 or 8 figure webinar swipe files, copy, paste, closes, a bunch of other things. Total value now of $54,994. So the next question now, you got the presentation, right? You got the way to master it, but the next question is well, Russell, how in the world do I fill the event? How do I get 100 people every week to show up to an event, or 500 or 1,000? How do I do that, right? How many guys, that's the fear, is what if I do this and nobody ever shows up? I have a one-to-many presentation, but it's just one. There's no many. How do I get the many to come to me, okay? That's obviously a big fear. So the next thing I wanted to create is something to help you guys to get the many. So this is a new program we put together called Conversation Domination. How to drive unlimited traffic by dominating attention on every single platform out there, okay? Now, this is something, anyway, I've been thinking about this, talking about this for a long, long time. I wanted to create a community where we can all be sharing what's working right now together. And so that's what Conversation Domination is. The whole concept initially came from a really quick video from Gary Vee at Traffic Conversion 5 or 6 years ago. I'm gonna watch this a 30-second clip of Gary explaining one principle. It's super powerful, and then I'll jump back into why this is the goal, which is complete conversation domination.
I think this is the television in 1965. If you look at TV 1965, that's what I think this is. And I think YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook are ABC, NBC, and CBS. So do I think, and then I think within it is MASH. and happy days. Got it? So that's the system. And so what you need to do is, for your business, figure out the channels where you could be the star of that network.
Okay, do you understand that? So your audience, they're all here. This is where everything's happening. So your job is to have complete conversation domination. What that means is when they open up their phone, your dream clients, they open the phone, and they're like, oh, and they click on the first app, boom, they open up YouTube, your videos are there. That's what they see. And they're like, wow, there's Russell everywhere. And they click on Facebook, and boom, they see you again. They click on Instagram or the podcast, like wherever their audience is looking at, you are there. It's called conversation domination, okay? How many of you guys get annoyed because no matter what platform you open, you see Russell Brunson's face? You're like, seriously, I gotta watch you again? Like, can you please stop being everywhere, okay? Yeah, it's annoying, but hey, you're here today, right? Conversation domination, you wanna be out there everywhere so your audience can't help but find you, okay? And so that's the goal. If we're gonna fill an event every single week, week after week after week, we have to get good at getting traffic and attention and noise and putting things out there, okay? So conversation domination is all about helping you guys figure out how to get traffic from all these different platforms consistently so you can take the show on the road. That's how we do it, right? Anyone do a webinar once to the list once, right? But then the audience thought, now what are we gonna do? Okay, how did Marilyn Tribute to people from $8 million to $80 million a year? She took the show on the road. She took that webinar and then she did it on Facebook, X, YouTube, and kept taking that process. Okay, that's what conversation domination is all about, is helping you guys to keep layering in levels of traffic, another level, another level, to keep getting more and more people showing up to your presentations, okay? Again, this is a new program launch right now. I already inside this is also gonna be run through school because I'm having fun with school right now. So this is the school community, which means inside here there's courses. So everything that I ever taught on traffic when we launched the Traffic Secrets book is all in here. All the traffic talks from every funnel hacking live event ever is all in here. Fill your funnel trading. This is the challenge to help people to fill their funnels traffic is in here. Okay. We just signed a deal with Rachel Miller, who's one of the greatest traffic trainers of all time. She's going to be here every single week, teaching courses, doing live events, showing how to get traffic. John Parks, my team, who runs our entire traffic team, is going to be in here. Like everyone who I know who's driving traffic is in here. And so again, this is a course, but this is a living course. Okay. It's a living product that's growing. We're actively in a community. We're sharing things, sharing resources. That way we can all collectively get better and better and better over time, okay? Is that exciting, you guys? You're not left to your own devices like, I hope I can get traffic now. It's like, no, we're here to help you, okay? And this is not going away. When you come into this program, there's no point where I will take away access from, well, unless you're an idiot or something bad, but as long as you are here providing value, like you have access to stuff forever. So like in a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, when traffic is shifted and some weird platform no one's ever heard of, you still have access to this community. We're all gonna like in real time helping each other figure out how to get traffic here, how to get traffic here, okay? We have the Google slap, everything changes. Okay, where do we shift to? Facebook ads go up, how do we shift to content, like to free ads, like back and forth. Like this is a living, breathing training program that's here. And as soon as you plug in and you're part of this community, like this is not going away. You now have access to me, my brains, to the access to the entire community of people who are driving traffic for us are all here happening inside of conversation domination. Okay. So again, first off, you get Fountainhead. This is the first 6 weeks we come in to get your offer figured out, your presentation done and launched live. Number 2, you have one-to-many mastery to help you to become better consistently over time, better and better and better your presentations. Number 3 then is conversation domination. We help you to fill your funnels or organically through paid ads, all that kind of stuff. Total value now is $74,991. And I got one other thing that is kind of fun. This is something I launched it last year, Funnel Hacking Live, as a bonus. And it's been really fun, okay? I call this the black card, and this is kind of the story behind it. There's a place that we did a mastermind meeting at last year. It's called Pirates Cove. It's my favorite place on earth. It's basically a big, huge pirate house, and so I took my Atlas members there and my Category King members there. We did 2 big events there, and while we were there at the event, in fact, this is what it looks like. We're jumping in the water, having a bunch of fun, and while we were there, during one of the sessions, I was teaching the group how I get things done. I said, what happens is like when I need my team to do something, I make a video, and I send the video to them to explain, here's how we need to change our ads, here's how we need to change traffic, here's how we need to change the copy. So I'm making these videos for my team all the time, coaching them on how to get more traffic, how to increase our conversion rates, right? But these are all just private videos to my internal team. And remember, Annie Grace raised her hand. She's like, I will give you any amount of money you want if I can give those videos that you give your team to my team. I was like, really? Any amount of money? Like, what does that actually mean? She's like, literally whatever it is. So what the black card basically became is inside of the training program, for the most part, I am training you guys how to build your presentations, right? But what the black card is basically all the stuff I'm using to train my team, you can then use to train your team. Okay, so if you're like, I don't want to figure this out and train my team, like, cool, just show them Russell's videos. Like, hey, Russell has this team do this to increase views on Instagram. You should do it too. Hey, Russell did this to get more people to open the emails. You should do this too. Hey, Russell did, and Russell launched this new funnel. This is the feedback. Like, these are the changes. Make the changes ours as well. And you can literally use everything in the black card to do that. Okay, so how many of you guys here would like for me to train your teams as well? Yeah, okay. Stacy's in. All right. Back of the table, just kidding. Okay. And so I asked Annie, I'm like, what does this look like? She's like, this is the, like, if you really do this, Russell, this is a really high expensive, like high ticket program. And so I'm playing right now with creating it where basically it's like a $70,000 a year program just for people who have employees, who have staff and that kind of stuff. And so that's kind of the long-term plan with it, which is $70,000 a year, $5,800 a month. But how many of you guys are like beta access to this right now? Okay, this is my thought. I got to get audience if I can send these things to and make sure they're good and the whole program is good. So what I'm willing to do is if you guys get started today, I will basically give you guys free beta access to all the Black Card, all the trainings. And then when I do launch this to the world, I'll never charge you for it. Like, it'll be unlocked in your account and you'll just have access to it. So in the future, as I keep doing this stuff, the videos will keep adding in there and you can just have it forever for free as a gift, as long as you promise not to tell people in the future when I'm charging 70 grand for this, that you get it for free. You guys cool with that? You promise me that? Okay, all right, thank you very much. So what you're gonna get again is Fountainhead. This is the next 6 weeks of your life. Okay, we're going event after event after event, and 6 weeks from now, your one-to-many offer will be done, your presentation will be done, and it'll be launched, okay? Then one-to-many mastery, conversation nominations, so we can fill our funnels with traffic consistently every week, and then the Black Card while we can help you train your staff and your team, okay? Total value of $104,998, okay? Now, this number right now, if you look at this, may seem like a lot, right? But you've seen, like, I have $1 million offer, I have 100,000, like, this isn't, like, we charge this kind of stuff for things all the time, right? But my goal for you guys right now is not to charge you a ton of money. My goal for you guys right now is I want you guys to win these awards. Again, this is the visual representation of the impact you will have if you start pursuing these goals. You hit a 2 Comma Club award, the amount of people's lives you have to change is huge. So my question is, like, if you get to the spot where you go through this process with us and eventually you win a 2 Comma Club award, would it be worth $104,000 to win a 2 Comma Club award? Yeah, that's the 10x investment, right? Russell, here's $100,000. I went to 2 Comma Club award. It's an amazing investment, okay? So if all this did was help you get the 2 Comma Club award, would it be worth $104,000? Yes, of course it would, right? The next question is, like, Russell, does this actually work? And so during the lunch break, we pulled up. In the last few years, we've had over 2,522 people who won a 2 Comma Club award so far. Okay, so that's pretty good results. 343 people have won a 2 Comma Club X award, which is crazy. 105 people won a 2 Comma Club C award. And then this is the one I'm most proud of right now. So far, 9 people have won a 2 Hard award. I mean, they've been able, from their business, donate over $1 million into charity. So a question for you guys, do you guys want to be on stage with me next year, getting a 2 Comma Club award, like showing that you put in the effort, you did this, and you cheated? If you guys want to be on stage this year getting an award, raise your hand right now. I want to see it. Make this commitment, just like Dana Derrick did. How many of you guys have written on, like, I see, have any of you guys written on the wall? Get your pens out. Let's do it right together. Let's all get up. Just kidding. This is an LED wall. I will destroy it. But I want this to be your guys' goal, okay? That's why I'm going crazy on this, because I know what's possible. I see what happens when people hit, like, they strive towards this goal and they achieve it, okay? And so I want this for you probably more than you want it right now, okay? So when you look at it from that way, $104,000 is a huge bargain, but this is the deal. I'm not going to do what college does for you guys. You know this close. I'm going to do it anyway. Is that all right? Okay. All right. I'm not going to charge you the $189,000 that Stanford would steal from you. Okay. I'm not going to charge you the $38,000 that Duke wants for just 1/5 of your education. And by the way, Brent pulled the stats during the break. These numbers from like 5 or 6 years ago. I guess like double this now, right? You said Duke's like twice as much now. Yeah. So it's got even more insane. And so I'm not going to charge you guys any of that. I'm not charging $104,000. In fact, there's 3 ways to get started today. All right. The very first way, as you guys learned about earlier, I have my $1 million offer. And the way that this works, this is by far the best thing. If you can afford $1 million, hit up my team, let us know, because this is the best thing I can give you. With this, you get a seat license at the event center. But on top of that, what's even cooler is you have a chance to come out here. I help you to create a 3-day event, kind of like this one. We let you perform it inside the event center. We help make a ton of sales. So that's the first option to get started, okay? Now, for a lot of you guys, I know the $1 million may be out of range right now. So we do have a second option. The second option is basically by one-to-many days. The way that one-to-many days work is a $100,000 investment. For $100,000, you come out here. We spend 8 hours together in the office. We sit down. We go through your presentation, your offer. I help you craft it. And then the coolest part, this is my favorite part, I come on stage and I actually perform your webinar for you. We record it, we give you the recording, and then when you go back home, you have that presentation, you can learn it, you can master it, and then you can go deliver it. Similar to what Allison Prince ended up doing, which is awesome. Okay, and then the third option is our $10,000 offer. And this is one for most of you guys where I recommend doing right now, is our $10,000 Prime Mover Foundation. And this is where we're gonna help take you by the hand and help you over the next couple weeks and months and year to get your presentation done, your offer done, everything you need to be able to go go and launch your one-to-many presentation, okay? So that's the game plan. Now, obviously, the $100,000 offer is amazing, right? We get the whole thing done in a day, but for just 1/10 of that, right? 1/10 of that cost, you guys get almost the exact same thing. It's not just in one day where you have to hurry and get everything finished and you got 8 hours and you're done. Okay, for 1/10 the cost, you actually get more time, more energy, more things from me and my team to help you to actually get this done, right? To launch the webinar. If it doesn't work, help you tweak it and change it and tweak it and change it until it's actually working and converting and you're having success with it, okay? So that is the game plan. Now, for the $10,000 offer, I want you to think about this. After you invest the $10,000, the question for me is always like, what's the ROI? When do I get the money back? How's it going to look, right? And so think about this. Like we go through, we create your level 10 offer, right? We create your one-to-many presentation. We get it out there. We launch into the world. And let's say your goal obviously is to win a 2 Combo Club award, right? You go out there and let's say you create a $1,000 offer, okay? You just have to sell 10 of those to break even, right? You sell 10 people and then you break even. Then after that, everything after that is pure profit. Does that make sense? Okay, that's what you create a $1,000 offer, which for most of you guys, that's what we're gonna encourage you guys to do. Create a $1,000 offer, put together one-to-many presentation, launch it. And sometimes you do it in your very first presentation, sometimes it takes 2 or 3, but eventually you're gonna get it. And after you make your very first 10 sales, you broke even, then everything after that is just pure profit, okay? That's pretty awesome, right? I'm an ROI guy. Like, what's the ROI? That's the ROI. You learn the skill sets, plug into your brain, but now you have it forever. You can do it for that product. You can create a new offer, another offer, another offer. Like people who we train and teach us on, they don't just do one webinar, get their money back, and they're done, right? I think that one of our most successful people I trained on webinars, Dan Henry, right? Dan Henry, if you've heard his story before, like he went out there, created a webinar, made a ton of money, won 2 or 3 2 Combo Club boards, and created another one, won another 2 or 3 2 Combo Club boards, made another one. And he's done it 10, 15 times since I've known him, right? We gave him the skill set once, he plugged in his brain, and now he has it over and over and over again, okay? In fact, it's kind of crazy. Right now, he has people who pay him. He comes to their company. They already have a product. He just writes a webinar. He pitches it. And he gets half the sales. Okay? After you have this skill set, you guys, it'll never leave you. So the ROI on this isn't just, oh, I can break even by getting 10 sales. The ROI is infinite. It's insane, right? It'll change your life forever. Okay? So that's what you create a $1,000 offer. Now, after you get better at this, next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna start creating $10,000 offers, kind of like the one I made today, right? I'm making a $10,000 offer for you guys. If you go and you go to the next step, you create a $10,000 offer, you just gotta sell 1 to break even. You sell 1, the ROI is back, you got your money back, and now everything after that is pure profit. Okay, you guys getting this? All right? And the last one, what if you create a $25,000 offer? That means if you sell 1, your ROI is 2.5 times from just 1 sell. What happens when you make the second sell, and then the third, and then the 10th, and then the 100th, okay? This kind of stuff is happening, you guys, inside the program. It's so much fun watching it. I cannot wait to see it happen for you as well, okay? Now, this is the way it works, okay? As you know, this is the $10,000 program, but a lot of you guys, if you tried to run $10,000 on your credit card now, it would fail. You have to call your bank, like, it's just credit cards aren't set up for $10,000, and I want to make this very simple, very easy, and so what I want you to do is I want you right now to lock in your seat into this program with a deposit today, right now, of $997, okay? All you gotta do is go to sellingonline.com/go, and you're gonna put $997 down, and that's gonna lock in your spot, okay? And then after that, on the next page, you have a chance to figure out the payment options, okay? And there's 2 different ways, or actually there's 3 different ways. Number 1 is you can say, okay, this is good. I'm gonna go on an upgrade and put the rest of the $9,000 in for my full 10 grand. You can do it, have it paid off today. Or if you want, you need a payment plan. On that same page, you can choose a payment plan, right? Which basically means you pay another $3,000 today, and then 2 more payments of $3,997. Or if you're like, I wanna put this on 2 different credit cards, or you're trying to figure out like, okay, my payday's next week, I gotta move things around, whatever. There's a third option. You can contact our team, and they'll help you figure out the payment options. And as soon as you've completed that second payment, it'll unlock access to the members area, and that way you can go in, and by Monday, you guys can start on the very first live training and start moving through this program, okay? So that's how it basically works. All you gotta do right now is just put in your deposit of $997 right now by going to sellingonline.com/go. This is what the page looks like. You're gonna go there, fill out the form, submit it, and then from there you have a chance to figure out your payment options, okay? All right, now I want you to understand, this $10,000, for some of you guys, this may feel like a big investment at first. I understand that, right? Even though the ROI is insane, even though like it's one of the, I always joke about this, I'm like, this is the closest thing to free money that I can possibly offer you, right? It's the fastest, best ROI I can possibly give you. But a lot of people still get nervous, like, okay, this seems like a lot of money. So I wanna kind of put this whole thing in perspective, okay? Imagine you go through this process, you create your level 10 offer, you create your one-to-many presentation, you launch out in the world, right? You go out there, and in a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years, however long it takes you, you go and you win a 2 Combo Club award, okay? When you're on stage and I hand you a 2 Combo Club award, I want you to visualize that's only 1% of the $1 million that you just made. Does that make sense? Okay, it's just 1% of the $1 million you made is the $10,000 investment. Okay, so what was the ROI on that? I can't do the math real quick, but it's a lot, okay? Now, when you keep going through this process and keep doing it over and over and over again, eventually you get your 8-figure club award, right? That's just 0.1% of the $10 million you just made, which is crazy, right? What other investment can you do that with, okay? And also think about this, like I think about companies like Stripe and PayPal. I love them, I'm grateful for them, but that's 1/3 of what Stripe and PayPal will cost you just to process your credit cards. They're not even doing anything. They're just processing credit cards. We're training, you're teaching, you, we're coaching you, we're helping you on the process, right? And we're getting way less than Stripe and PayPal are for helping you on that journey. Okay? So again, all you gotta do is go to sellingonline.com/go. That's what you gotta do right now. When you go there, this is what the page will look like. You can sign up, you can put your $997 deposit down right now, and then the next page, you figure out the payment plan. And again, there's 3 options. Finish the payment right now in full. You can do the payment plan, or if you need to move it on cards, you have questions or whatever, you can contact our team, and they'll help you get things moved around. But this does close Monday at midnight. Okay, you have to have the payment on Monday by midnight. The second payment, that way it unlocks access to the membership site, and that way Monday you can jump into the live training. And again, all you gotta do right now is go to sellingonline.com/go. Okay, now, this offer is already insanely good, but I wanna make it irresistible. So when you guys get started, in a minute now, we're gonna go to a 30-minute break. When you get started during the break, I'm gonna give you 3 awesome bonuses that you won't get anywhere else, and these are awesome, okay? First one, this one's pretty cool. First one you get is a Prime Mover welcome kit. We're gonna ship you a box, you're gonna get a t-shirt, you're gonna get some books, you're gonna get stickers to put on your laptops and your iPads and stuff like that. So that's the first thing you're gonna get, which is pretty cool. Right? Second thing is tomorrow during lunch, I'm gonna be doing a special session just for those who take the leap of faith and get started in the Prime Mover Foundation program. We're gonna do what's called the Wizard of Oz lunch, okay? You guys have seen the Wizard of Oz, right? I'm basically gonna show you guys behind the curtains of everything we did today during this event over the last couple of days. Right? Obviously, as you can tell, this entire 3-day event, the Selling Online Challenge, is a one-to-many presentation to sell people into my mid-level coaching program, right? You guys are experiencing it right now. And I know that obviously your eyes have been opened, you're seeing, you're understanding things, but my goal during tomorrow's lunch is to actually show you behind the scenes of what we did, why we did, what was presentation number 1 about, why did we put it here, what was number 2, what was number 3, and like show you the choreography behind the entire thing. So that's gonna be happening tomorrow. I'm so excited to show you guys. This is one of those things like I geek out about. I spent months and months planning and putting the things together, and I never had a chance to share this with anybody. So I thought, okay, for any of you guys who do get started today during this break, tomorrow at lunch, I will do this special session. It'll be really, really fun. And again, it's called the Wizard of Oz, showing you behind the curtain event. And it's gonna be really fun because I'll have a chance to actually show you guys everything we did. And so if any of you guys in the future wanna do events like this, that session will be worth its weight in gold because you have a chance to kind of see behind the scenes of what we did, and then you can model it for your events as well, okay? So that's tomorrow. That's only if you get started in the break. And the third thing, this is the one I'm most excited for, okay? The first 50 people who register right now, you're gonna get 12-month access to the Prime Mover program, again, for just $10,000 per year. But for the first 50 people, we wanna do something insane because I wanna make sure you are taking action, and this is the irresistible offer. You guys ready for this? Instead of getting 12 months, if you're one of the first 50 people to put in your deposit right now during lunch, what we're gonna do is instead of 12 months, what we're gonna do is we're gonna give you lifetime access to this entire coaching program, okay? Lifetime access, and boom, there's the emoji freaking out. What that means, this is like, think about this. This is like, let's say you sign up for college and you pay for 1 semester of school, right? And you go through, you get to learn all this stuff, and then all of a sudden, like, you go to the next semester and it's free. And then the next year it's free. And then you get your entire bachelor degree for free. And then you decide, I wanna go get a master's program and then a doctorate. Like, you continue to have access to this for the life of the program, which is pretty awesome, okay? Now, this is not for everybody. For everybody, what's gonna happen is you get year access for $10,000, but for any of you guys who put in your deposit right now, okay, and this is my goal, to get you to take some action right now. You put in your deposit right now, what we're gonna do is we will lock that in. Even if you're like, I can't pay the full 10K today, I gotta figure out payments, I gotta whatever, that's cool. Just put the deposit in it and that'll lock in your lifetime access, okay? And then at that, on the next page, you can figure out the payment plans and stuff like that. But if you wanna have lifetime access, this is only for the first 50 people who lock it in right now during the break, which means what you gotta do right now is go to sellingonline.com/go, lock in the lifetime access. Again, all you gotta do right now is put a $997 payment, it locks in lifetime access, and then it'll give you access to everything else, okay? So that is the game plan, you guys. I see you guys freaking out in the comments. Yes, lifetime is the best, right? In the past, we had a program like this, and it was $10,000 a year, and people paid year after year after year. I want to do this special because I want to make sure you guys run to the back of the room. If we were at an event, that'd be the goal. But because you're here right now, my job is to make a level 10 offer for you. So you're freaking out, running around, finding your credit card, calling your spouse. Like, that's your job right now, is to do that. Same thing you're going to learn how to do to your audience as well when you go through the Prime Mover Foundation program. So again, lock in right now your lifetime account with your deposit of just $997. Okay, and then the next page you have the ability to figure out how to pay off the rest of $10,000 when you go to sellingonline.com/go. All right. You just want to recap of this again? All right, what are you getting? I know it's an insane offer, but here you go. One more time. First thing, you get Fountainhead, $24,997 value. Number 2, you get the one-to-many mastery. Number 3, you're going to get conversation domination. Number 4, you are going to get the 2 Comic Club back card, a total value of $104,998. Whew. And again, you get lifetime access to that, to the life change. Means what's cool about this is, think about this. You go through this process once, you create an offer, you launch it, you have some success, you're like, I want to do another offer. Instead of just trying to, okay, let me remember what I talked about. You just log back in the membership site, go back through module number 1, right? Go in the live event, have Chris and the team help coach you through the first module. And second, right, you create a new level 10 offer, new webinar, new presentation. Like, you can do this over and over and over again. Let's say you go and you get a client, and you're like, hey, I want to build a webinar for you, right? They pay you more than $10,000 typically, or they pay you a percentage of revenue, whatever it is. You come in like, okay, I'm going to do this. You log back in, and then we coach you through building the webinar, getting it done, launching it, and you can do it over and over and over again, okay? This is literally like the gift that keeps on giving, okay? That way, you guys will not ever going to be left to your own devices, like, hopefully be successful. You just jump back to the members area, do the next webinar, And if one of your webinars flops, cool, come back to the coaching, come back, ask questions, get feedback, okay? My coaches have done this over and over and over again for so many people, okay? They know the holes, they know the gaps, they know how to get things to convert. And so if you launch a webinar, it's not converting, or it's not converting where you want it to, jump in, come back in, you have lifetime access, and they're here to serve you and help you guys to be successful, okay? But to do that, if you want lifetime access, the only way to get that is to be one of the first 50 who locks it in right now. And you lock it in, again, by going to sellingonline.com/go, put in the $997. Now you're locked in lifetime access. And then on the next page, you have a chance to figure out how to finish the $10,000 payment, okay? But all you do now is very simple. During this break is go to sellingonline.com/go. Okay, this is the game plan. What we're gonna do right now, we're gonna take about a 30-minute break, which will give you guys a chance to go find your wallet, find your credit card, call your bank, upgrade your, whatever you need to do to make sure you lock in the lifetime account. That's the game plan right now. We're gonna take a 30-minute break. During that break, you have a chance to watch some videos of people who've gone through the program. You have a chance to hear from them, to see what's possible inside the Prime Mover Foundation program. When we come back from the break, I have a really cool session, okay? Obviously, we've been talking about one-to-many selling for the last couple of days. I have a bunch of people here inside the home studio audience. I'm going to bring them on stage and let them do Q&A about their presentations, their things they're trying to figure out. And what's going to be cool about this is they're going to be doing this in proxy for you. In a perfect world, every one of you guys would come here to the office and we'd all come up and line up and do this. But we got a bunch of them who are going to be here. I'm going to have them come up. And I guarantee that 1 or 2 or 3 of the things that they will be asking me are the exact same things that are burning inside your mind that you're trying to figure out. And so make sure you're here for that session, listen to their questions, and get your questions answered through the process. It'll be really, really powerful. We'll be doing that in 30 minutes from right now. So you got a 30-minute break. Your job right now is to go to sellingonline.com/go, get your credit card, whatever it is, go lock in your lifetime account, $997 right this very second. And then after that, again, you got 2 or 3 options. Number 1 is, pay the $9,000, pay in full, and then you're done. Number 2, there's a three-pay payment plan, if I say that right, 3-pay payment plan. Or number 4, if you need to contact our team, information's there. If you're like, hey, I need to put us on 2 cards, I've got to figure out how to move some money around, I need till Sunday or whatever that is, you can contact them as well and get things figured out. Just know that after you lock your lifetime, that's going away very, very soon. So what you're going to do right now is you're going to lock in your account for $997. It's a deposit of $997 right now. And I already see in the comments, some of you guys are already asking literally like, when does the deposit expire? Like, when's our deadline? Okay, the deadline for the deposit, let's make it tomorrow morning at 9. When we get started tomorrow morning, that's when the locking the deposit, when it ends, which means you got tonight to kind of think about it, but I recommend don't think about it because there's only 50 spots. And if those spots disappear during lunch, then you lost it. So go get it locked in right now, lock in your discount, and then again, on the next page, you have a chance to figure out payment options, stuff like that, and that's kind of game plan. So right now, 30-minute break, go to sellingonline.com/go, get locked in, put in your deposit, and we come back. We're going to do a one-to-many coaching panel with some of our in-house audience. It's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you guys back here in 30 minutes. Thanks, everybody.